Hello and welcome to the fourth round of the 2020 Race Factor Gaming Grand Prix Championship in MX Simulator. It is the MXSGP of France at Saint-Jean-d'Angely in France, and we are set to go racing tonight on this lovely racetrack and figure out some championship scenarios that are starting to shape up a little bit in these classes. First off, of course, we're going to have the MX2 division where Tyler Lang still heads the points there. Braden Carter picked up the win last time out in Argentina, and Payson Johnson won the first round of the Nationals last week at WWE Ranch, so they'll be looking to move up and challenge Lang for that points lead. Of course, the 450 division standings also close as well, and we'll see the MX1 boys going a little bit later on in the evening, and we'll get to that at the second half of the night show, a little bit after the break. But this track is in the west side of France, kind of southwest side of France. It's 1,620 meters in length, a little over a mile long, and we are about 30 miles outside of La Rochelle. We're only a couple miles outside of Saint-Jean-d'Angely, and about 100 miles away from Nantes in France as well. So a lot of big cities close by and not too far away from the coastal region of France as well. But a pretty long racetrack, very kind of slick track as well, really slick and greasy dirt, kind of has a lot of rocks in the soil, and in MX Simulator not too different either, kind of a lot of slipping and sliding, but up and down hills all around through these first couple complexes. You drop down the hill out of the third corner here, inside outside anthill option, and then you come to the bottom of the hill here, and again just kind of up and down these hills, get to the bottom, turn around, table up this hill, and then another little single up towards kind of the middle part of the circuit. This track hosted the Motocross of Nations in the year 2000 and 2011, so quite familiar with motocross racing on a global scale. Finish line jump down at the bottom of the hill, though, and then a little double right after it, and you kind of swoop down by the fan area at the very bottom of the hill before you work your way back up the center of the racetrack. Kind of double, triple, single option up the middle, and then turn around at the top of the hill, double down the hill again, another tight 180 at the very bottom, and you go right back up towards the top of the hill again. Another tight left 180, and then a little kind of weird triangle section here at the back where you come down, hook about a 130 degree right, and then another 130-ish degree right before you kind of float up this little single at the top of the hill into the big Race Tech double at the top of the hill as well. Big airtime up here, probably a lot of whips we'll see out of these guys. And then the big downhill right into the middle of the circuit again, big double down the hill. Travis Pastrana jumping over Stefan Roncada there in the year 2000. And then you swing around at the bottom of the hill, kind of charge your way all the way back up to the top, the Ride 365 uphill into this big double at the top of the hill. Inside outside options here as well. Left to the outside keeps you low. Inside anthill jumping into the rollers, and a big wall jump in the middle here. Gautier Paulin launching that wall jump a couple of times in a row back in 2019, and you drop down this really tricky off camber right before the start finish area here. Kind of come up to this last or penultimate corner and then drop down to this last corner, and this heads you back down the start straight past the mechanics area, and that is a lap around Saint-Jean-d'Angely in France. Well, we're set to go racing tonight, folks. It's going to be a good one. Of course, my name is Kellen Brauer, bringing you guys the action here tonight as per usual. Fourth round of the Race Factor Gaming Grand Prix Championship is going to be a blast, and of course we're starting off with the MX2 division tonight, in which I'll pull up times right here. Actually, Payson Johnson, fastest qualifier, trying to pick up right where he left off with that win at WWE Ranch just 6 days ago now. So he's coming off a little bit of a high, and he set down a really good time here in France, beating out last week's winner in Argentina, Braden Carter, by 0.7 of a second. Nathan Prynne putting down a 146.3, so he's about a second off of Payson Johnson's time. Colby Eaglin, Tyler Lang rounding out the top five. Of course, Lang has that points lead, but what we're about to look at right now is the Consolation race, which features everybody from 37 on back in the running order. So George Knight, Junior Reyes, Noah Vining, Tyson Parliament, just to name a few that we're about to see in this Consolation race. And before I get started at all and get too deep into the broadcast tonight, just wanted to really quickly let you guys know my wife obviously is expecting our first child here any minute. The due date is supposed to be this Wednesday, but that could change at any second. So we may have to go off the air and not finish this live broadcast at some point tonight if things change. At the moment, I think everything is still kind of steady, but we'll assess the situation as it goes on through the night. So I'm just letting you guys know, if we go off the air, we'll still have the broadcast come at a later date. We'll just have the demos pulled up and do a save file and actually rebroadcast the demos at a later date. But we're going to try to get through as much of tonight as possible. And yeah, we'll get as much racing in as possible. So just want to let you guys know, I got my phone sitting right here next to me so that I won't miss a second if something does come up. But just want to keep you guys in the loop so you're not completely confused if we just go off the air in an hour or 2 hours or 3 hours, or if we make it through all the night clean, unscathed, whatever you want to call it before. Maybe she goes into labor. I have no idea. So it looks like the Consolation race guys are actually already out on the racetrack right now. I think they just got that Consolation race underway. Looks like it. I'll wait just a second to make sure that they're not going to do a server restart. But J.R. Reyes, Junior Reyes, going up the hill. Jake Kazarian, Tyler Moses, Rasmus Eriksson, Chandler Bloxham. So these guys actually just getting underway, and it looks like the Consolation race is actually this race at the moment. It doesn't look like they are going to just restart it here, but that's totally fine because they probably did a parade lap while I was bringing in the intro there. You can see it is still J.R. Reyes, Junior Reyes, Tyler Moses, Rasmus Eriksson, and Jake Kazarian in transfer spots. Chandler Bloxham is right there in the mix as well. Only 4 go through, and this is a 4-lap race. And crucially, it's really only about a 3-lap race, 3.5-lap race or so, because the finish line jump comes about 5 corners into the track, and then you still have so much of the racetrack left to go before you get back to where the starting gates are. So, because of that, these guys are actually going about 3.5 laps and have less time to make the moves as Bloxham's trying to pull alongside Kazarian here. Also got to keep an eye on Noah Viney on the 143 trying to get down the inside. 3 different rut options as they head down the hill into the off camber. Inside, outside options, kind of middle rut there for Kazarian, Viney, and Bloxham taking different lines, but Viney's going to shoot down that inside and move into 4th, so he moves Kazarian on back. And we got Tanner Rogers trying to peek down the inside on the 499. Oh, gets together there with, that was Chandler Bloxham hitting the deck. So Bloxham looked like he was trying to square it up there and wasn't expecting perhaps Rogers sliding down the inside. So Rogers makes that move. We also have the man, the myth, the legend, Donut MX, Brett Powers out here as Rogers goes down. So Brett Powers on the Team O'Reilly Moto Bomba number 40. Trying to run down Jake Kazarian, but it's still Noah Viney in the final transfer spot. Tyler Moses, Rasmus Eriksson, and J.R. Reyes on the Rhino Power machine at the top of the hill, continuing to lead the race, dropping down the hill here through the trees. And right back up the other side of the track. Nice lead going, and trying to hold it on. You do not want to fall in the early runnings of these Consolation races. Could get really bad really quickly. Rasmus Eriksson still holding down 2nd. Moses is 3rd, and Noah Viney has actually caught Tyler Moses up a bit. So they drop down the hill in the center of the circuit. Viney is definitely trying to close this gap down and might be thinking of an inside move, but doesn't quite hook the rut that he wants, and a much better drive for Moses up the hill. Side by side, and Viney around the outside is going to close the door, make the move on Moses, and go into 3rd. Jake Kazarian trying to get into the mix here, though, and fight his way into a final transfer spot, and he might have an opportunity here as Tyler Moses has got a little bit stacked up. Look at how wide these guys are swinging. They're trying to hook that berm on the outside to get a drive up the hill, but it leaves the door wide open for a pass opportunity, so look for Kazarian to maybe take advantage of that if they're still this close next time by. Although I think Kazarian is really hopeful that he can make a move earlier than that as he's trying to shoot down the inside. 3-rider battle for 3rd, but really kind of looking at this 2-rider battle between Moses and Kazarian as the white flag waves in the MX2 Consolation race. Down the hill they go. One more lap to go. One more lap for Kazarian to try to make a move here to fight his way into the final transfer spot, and he's definitely pushing the envelope. Tyler Moses sweating bullets. Has to worry a little bit here as Kazarian on the 128 is closed right up on him, and he might try an inside move here. No, he's going to back out of the challenge. How about here? Inside move. Oh, and he gets into him and puts Moses down, I should say. So there goes Kazarian. Here comes Donut. Brett Powers on the 40. So this is now the 5-6 group, and they're going to need to hope for something to happen to Kazarian or Viney or even Ericsson or JR Reyes up the road, because they're still within striking distance if something were to happen. Work their way back up the hill. Kazarian trying to get out of here as fast as possible and not have to think about all that chaos going on behind him. You can see Viney is also stretched out a little gap on Kazarian. Look at Kazarian launching the wall there. That's a little bit treacherous. So dropping down the center rut one last time. Kazarian trying to bring this thing home. It still is JR Reyes, though, out front trying to bring this thing home for Rhino Power. Going to pick up a consolation race win. A win is a win, as they say, and this could be a good confidence boost. We've seen a lot of guys come from the consolation race and score some good points in the actual motos several times already through this 3-round GP circuit onto the 4th round tonight here in Saint-Jean-d'Angely, France. But it is going to be JR Reyes coming down off the final hill and taking the win in the consolation race. Rasmus Eriksson brings it home second. Noah Viney has got 3rd lockdown, and Kazarian does make that move on Tyler Moses to go through into 4th and transfer into the motos. Tyler Moses gonna miss out, as will Brett Powers. They're all headed back to the semi. Alex Cunningham. Oh, Tanner Rogers just got together with Daniel Irvine, and they are not too thrilled with each other. Daniel Irvine rage quitting out of this one. George Knight misses out. Ethan Holland putting a little block pass there on JT George. So these guys just trying to fight it off for pride here down to the flag. JT George throwing it in. Holland. Oh, that was actually nice line there for Holland jumping into that rut. But there's cuts. Let's see. No, nothing changed up front. Still Reyes, Eriksson, Viney, and Kazarian going through to the motos tonight. So consolation race done here in the MX2 division. And we are about to head into the motos. MX2 race 1 coming up hot and heavy right at about 5:50, I would assume, as they get the server restarted, get those scripts ran properly. But a beautiful racing circuit on hand today for us, and it's going to be interesting to see how it breaks down. Obviously in that consolation race, not a lot of braking bumps really developing or big ruts or lines being dug down just yet, but as these motos wear on, we'll see guys probably searching around for a couple different lines. Seems like there isn't one clear-cut line everybody's taken around this track. Inside, outside options. This track has always done a really good job with providing rollers on the inside so it doesn't become inside heavy and making smoother lines around the outside. So you see a lot of the ant hills and other things mixed around the racetrack. Crowd out here going absolutely bonkers, as you can kind of hear some air horns and noises amongst the crowd. That is a fairly new iteration of the game. When JLV started adding sequence files into the game that are movable objects, he actually also installed sound files that people can mess with. So actually during Supercross this year, we did have some sound files. You may notice when you play a Supercross track that was created by the Race Factory Gaming track crew, there's the fireball, there's the gate click on the drop, there's the fireball when you go into the whole shot line of the first corner, and occasionally there is some crowd noise as well. And that is all through sound files that the Race Factory Gaming track crew has added to the racetracks. And they do a terrific job with that. If you want to get involved with this series, perhaps you're watching for the first time, or maybe you're watching the replay back and you've never seen this before, head over to racefactorygaming.com. Make your account today. If you've never raced MX Simulator Racing before, you can start off in the novice rank and work your way into the amateur classes and eventually into the pro ranks, like we're seeing the riders competing here tonight. So check it out over at racefactorygaming.com. if you would like to start racing competitively in MX Simulator. They make it real simple. You get an account set up, you request a license, they tell you when and where the races are and when you can qualify and where you can qualify at. Join the server, and then they take it from there. Run scripts, divvy up where you'll be in said lineups, whether you are headed to a consolation race like we just saw there, or you're qualified directly into the motos with some good qualifying times. They post everything up in the chat so you can see where you end up, and you know for the gates drop exactly what's about to happen. So they've always done a great job. Race Factor Gaming has been at it since 2012, so coming up here on a long stretch of hosting races. Started way back in the day with Charles Adam Sweeney and Michael Wheeler putting everything together, and it slowly changed hands over to a team of Chris Riesenberg and Stephen Barrington, Peter Like, and a few others, and now obviously run very well under the tutelage of Jeremy Cohenauer, president at racefactorgaming.com. Always putting on a lovely series for us. And he even himself racing very well and on the competitive level. We'll probably see him later tonight in the MX1 division, actually. So loading into the MX2 Race 1, and Evan McLeod wants to know, what is the MX Simulator tip of the day? So here's a good tip that I don't know how many people know this, but I mentioned it on one of my videos recently, and somebody was really confused by it. But the best way to save a crash in this game is the dumbest way. If you're going to over jump or case something really bad, so stupid, you want to get in 5th gear, hold in your clutch, sit down, and land nose heavy. It is the most bass-ackwards way I've ever seen. But yeah, that works. I mean, honestly, with that technology, with that logic or whatever, you can save some crashes, but you're still crashing a lot if you're casing stuff really hard or over jumping. But you'll find yourself landing a few more things that you didn't used to. Landing rear heavy and kind of doing like a weird thing with your body and like jiving back and forward is actually the worst thing you can do, because the way JLV has structured this game is that rapid movement of your body. So if you land heavy on the rear wheel and you drive your body backwards, which in real life, you know, is kind of how you want to land. If you're going to over jump something, you kind of want to like soak it up with your body. So like you land and let the bike kind of lurch forward and you fall off the back of the bike a little bit, so your legs and your knees and all the bike suspension, everything soaks it up. That is the worst way to land in this game, just because your body moves so much that it almost immediately causes you to have an immediate fall off the bike crash. So MX Simulator tip of the day: land nose heavy, sitting down with the clutch in 5th gear, and you'll save a lot of crashes. All right, MX2 Race 1 parade lap out on the track right now. This is where we're going to see a lot of the heavy hitters in this division. And if it's not already exciting enough that you're here watching this race, well, it's time to get really excited, folks, because we're about to drop the gate for some points-paying positions in the MX2 division, with a championship lying in the balance as we head into the midpoint of the season. And we're going to find out who's going to take the next big step towards their championship dreams as we're set to go. It's the MXSGP of France in Saint-Jean-d'Angely. Oh, it's a land rush, and it looks like it might be Dickerson on the 260 getting that Race Tech Whole Shot Award. It is Dickerson leading through the first corner, but right behind him is Braden Carter on the 18. 761, I believe that's Mudge. Also in the mix, Benjamin Saves around the outside, actually gets into the back of Carter, and Carter goes down. So it is Dickerson opening up the lead, and Saves trying to move in a second as Mudge goes down. Mudge goes down in the background, and Saves does move into that second position. But this is a great way to start his night for Isaiah Dickerson, with a whole shot and leading lap number 1, while everybody else is struggling a little further down the field. Saves, Spencer, Ethan Gerst up here, Brady White, and Carter, even though he slid out at the top of the third corner there, is actually still up here in the 6th spot. So a nice salvage job. He's got Daniel Mills right behind him, and your points leader, Tyler Lang, coming in. Looks like he's in about the 9 spot, just ahead of the 57 with Eagland. It looks like Gerst on the 260 may have just gone down. And the 351, that's Payson Johnson on his new team, the Panini Motorsports ride this week. That is your fastest qualifier and recent winner at WWE Ranch with a pretty good start comparatively to where he normally starts. Not a good starter is Payson Johnson, but around the top 10 early and battling early on with teammate Eagland down the field a little bit as they go bar to bar, coming down the hill in the center of the racetrack. Peeking back out front, though, it is still Dickerson at the top of the hill trying to pull away. And Dickerson has had an up and down GP season, to say the least. He's gotten a couple hole shots and a couple moto wins, but he's also had a couple really bad starts. And he has had an uphill climb through the field every single time those bad starts come. And usually he's able to fight his way somewhere inside of the top 10 before things are over. But it hasn't been all easy sailing for him this year. And proof is in the pudding that his teammate is got the points lead, Tyler Lang, on the 49. So Dickerson trying to pull away early and establish a nice enough lead that no crashing or bad riding down the stretch will pull this one away from him, and he is absolutely flying first lap through. He's already going to extend the lead out, although we had a rider go down in second, and that moved Carter back into the 2 spot. So Carter now finds himself second. Daniel Mills looks like he's up into third. And Benjamin Saves, who was in second, has dropped back to the 4 spot. Of course, Carter riding a bit of the high from winning the MXSGP of Argentina last week. Trying to carry that momentum with him here into France today. And right now, it looks like he's actually starting to close that gap down just a little bit on our leader, Dickerson. It doesn't seem like Dickerson's gap is 3 seconds anymore. As here comes Carter just over the hill. I mean, he is definitely bringing that gap down quickly. Let's take a look. It is 2.4 seconds, 150.7 to a 150.8, so almost identical lap times. And you can see early on here with Braden Carter how the track looks when it's nice and smooth. This is the best it's going to be, folks. It is only getting rougher and grittier from here. Oh, but Carter hooks an inside bump and goes down. So he's down here at the top of the hill, and several riders going through. Benjamin Saves almost gotten completely sideways there, but Lang went through, as did Payson Johnson, and here comes Eagland on the 57 pulling alongside. And Eagland does get that pass made. Carter has to go back to work. Eagland launching down the hill. My goodness, he got there really far down that hill. But he's trying to keep tabs with his brand new teammate, Payson Johnson, who is getting away from him here and going after the 54 of Benjamin Saves. In and out of that first turn complex, and all these guys swinging to that outside so they can carry momentum around that berm. Johnson doubling to the inside, hooks the inside rut, but that is not going to allow him to double down the hill. That may lose him some time. It might lose him a spot. It does. Eagland, his teammate, goes down the inside and gets him right back. Johnson trying to fight back in the middle rut as they head up down to the finish line here to complete lap number 3 on to lap number 4 for them. And roles reversed for the Panini Motorsports teammates back here as Johnson had initially passed his teammate Eagland, and Eagland just got back by him. Oh, but now they're going to go side by side up the hill as Eagland just made a small mistake, but he does control the inside here. Let's see if Johnson has an outside move. No, Eagland hooking that inside rut very well. Johnson trying to fight back to the bottom of the hill. Look at how did he get stopped for that inside rut. Does not work out, though. And now Benjamin Saves a bit of a sitting duck here as Eagland's trying to fight forward and go with Lang ahead of him. Inside move here. Oh, just can't get that door shut. Let's see if he has a different option here. They're both going to swing wide. It looks like that outside line is the preferred line here because you're able to carry a lot more speed. And down through the trees, they come to the bottom of the hill. Second rut line there for both Eagland and Johnson, and they're putting the pressure on the 54 Benjamin Saves here. That is where Braden Carter fell a lap ago on that real tricky inside roller. And Eagland, let's see if he sizes up a launch down the hill again. Kind of settles in, and look at this, launching down the hill. Not as far as he did last time, but good enough to make the pass. And Eagland, as quickly as Payson Johnson moved around him and was trying to get away from Eagland, the roles have reversed a lap later, and Eagland now has the Architect 54 Benjamin Saves between himself and new teammate Payson Johnson. Tyler Lang a little further up the road, trying to reel in Daniel Mills. This would be for third. as the number 31 Jack Daniels Racing Machine. Actually, this is for second because we lost Carter, so never mind. That is this is going to be for the 2 spot. But the JDR 31 trying to hold on to that position. Over the finish line jump they go, and Lang looks like he's gone a little bit faster that last time by. So up the hill, double to the top, and then they both hook that inside rut there. I'll tell you what, Eagland is trying to keep tabs on Lang here. Dickerson still pulling away out front, and Lang trying not to lose touch with his teammate out front. Really eager to get by Mills and even put someone between himself and that Panini Motorsports duo coming behind him. So let's see if Lang has something lined up through the midsection of the course here and perhaps through the wave section at the top. Gets a great drive around the outside, but it's not going to be enough because Mills got that middle rut really well. And they're both going to funnel to this inside, jump into the rollers, double. Wall jump in the middle. Oh, Payson Johnson. Whoa, we got a rider going sideways in the track there, but Payson Johnson did just make the move on his teammate Eagland. Both of them mid-launching down the hill. And Johnson and Eagland continue to swap positions. Still looking on this battle, though, between Mills and Lang, and it's just about to become a 4-rider train for second. Still leading, though, is the MV Films number 260, Isaiah Dickerson. Only about 3 seconds in front of this little grouping here that's definitely starting to come together. Look at how quickly Payson Johnson's starting to get onto the back of Tyler Lang here. So just as quickly as Lang was trying to make a move on Mills, he may be under attack here as Johnson slides it down the inside. Everybody trying to carry their speed to get a drive up this uphill, but Payson Johnson doesn't care about that. He is sludging through the inside rollers. Mills, Lang, Johnson, 2, 3, 4, trying to run down leader Dickerson. Inside move, Johnson not going to get it on Lang, who rips around the outside. Now Lang tries an inside move on Mills and gets that pass done. Mills stood up at the bottom of the hill, and Lang goes into P2. Johnson's trying to make quick work of Mills as well, and he scrubs that single so hard. And just going to have to funnel in behind Mills here because that outside is just so much better to carry speed through. Inside move here for Johnson, though. He might be able to close the door. Oh, he just puts Mills down. Oh, my goodness. Payson Johnson. Daniel Mills had a family. Oh, my goodness, Payson Johnson just coming down the inside. A little bit of inexperience there, perhaps. Johnson on the 351, of course, still a rookie in the pro ranks, just absolutely sending it across the track and getting into Daniel Mills. A little bit of reckless abandon early on. Still a lot of racing left to go. Over 2/3 of this race remains, and maybe a tad early to make those moves, but I won't question it because that dude won 2 motos last week at WW Ranch. Meanwhile, Isaiah Dickerson probably doesn't realize exactly what's going on behind him, but knows that he has a nice lead established on his teammate for the time being and is just trying to manage that. Let's do a lap time check here as we're about to hit the 10-minute mark of this moto. 1:49.3 to a 1:49.1 for Lang as he resets his best lap of the race and closes in 2/10. Now a 49.9 out of Eagland, a 53.3 out of Johnson after that fall, and a 48.1 out of Braden Carter. So Carter looking like he's on the move, and this top 5 is still very close together as we are heading into the middle point of this MX2 Race 1. Carter carrying a little bit more momentum down the hills, it looks like, and actually apexing his corners a little bit better. As you'll see these braking bumps start to kind of get a little bit rougher. You'll see riders start to search inside of them and not have to hit those braking bumps while braking, because it could unsettle the bike and unsettle the balance for them. So let's see, Carter 2.6 seconds down. It is Payson Johnson just up the road, but this 5-rider train at the front is only separated by this back straightaway here, which is no more, excuse me, than about 8 seconds in length. Carter a little wayward entering the ruts there. And it seems like actually we have a battle brewing here between teammates again. It is Eaglin and Johnson. Excuse me. So Johnson ends up back ahead of Eaglin. That moves him up into the 3 spot. Next up on his list, of course, would be championship leader Tyler Lang, but Eaglin trying not to lose touch with him because he does not want to fall into the clutches. Braden Carter, as another lap clicks by for Dickerson out front. Lang crosses in 2nd. There goes Johnson across the line 3rd. Eaglin over in 4th, and Braden Carter across in 5th. Eaglin just missed the double. And regardless of whether or not he gained an advantage, it'll be cuts added to his end total at the end right there. Going outside of the gates. So he'll have to keep that in his back pocket when he's in a battle later on, but he's still in a battle right now with his teammate. Oh, trying to get around the 243 there. Poor lap rider just trying to stay outside and not get in the way of these guys, but ended up kind of in their main line. Oh, we lost Lang. I thought I saw perhaps a Honda down. And yes, it was indeed Tyler Lang on the deck. So he drops back behind Carter. That's going to move him back to 5th. And this little 3-rider train continues to battle. They're lapping the 311 of Tyron Tomic. A little mistake there for Eaglin. Carter continuing to try to chip away the time. But Johnson now moves up to 2nd. Eaglin 3rd, Carter 4th, and Lang back to 5th. Dickerson still leads. Have to imagine this is going to be a burner lap for Payson Johnson. He's opened up a small gap on his teammate Eaglin, but he's 9 seconds back of the lead after Tyler Lang crashed out of the 2 spot. So let's see what lap times are this time by. Did a 47.9 last time by, puts down a 48.9, so actually slowed down a bit, but he did actually pull away about a second there on his teammate Eaglin and gained 0.3 of a second on leader Dickerson. So Payson Johnson on the move right now. Let's go on board with him for a little bit and see where he may be gaining some time. He looks like he's really efficient in and out of the corners, and he's also arcing his corners very similar to what we just saw out of Braden Carter. You can see these ruts are definitely developing. This is not a very clean racetrack anymore. The ruts are getting deeper and they're getting choppier as well. Oh, Johnson just lands off the track. Got to be careful. Do not want to jump back on the track. Take down your teammate, because not only would the team be unhappy with that, but you always end up being called into question just a little bit with unsafe track re-entries. Whether or not the team protests you or not, Race Factor Gaming is always watching. So Eaglin now right back there behind him. Braden Carter and Tyler Lang in 5th has lost the touch with these guys just a little bit. Let's do, as we're about to hit the halfway mark, let's do a really quick top 20 rundown. This one's brought to you by the folks at Tagger Designs. Get yourself a custom painted helmet today. Tagger Designs, the pride of Temecula, California. Actually, I think they're based in Elsinore now, but they always do a terrific job painting some custom helmets for whatever your need is. And definitely check out Tagger Designs today. And they bring you this top 20 rundown halfway through the moto of MX2 Race 1. Isaiah Dickerson on the number 260 MV Films continues to lead the race as he comes down to click onto lap number 10. Second place belongs to Payson Johnson, Panini Motorsports, number 351. And it looks like that gap is continuing to close down, so we'll have to get back up here relatively quickly. Eaglin has lost 3rd, and that's now Braden Carter on the QM1 number 18 that moves up into the 3 spot. And Tyler Lang on the number 49 MB Films has moved up into 4th. So Eaglin dropped from 3rd to 5th as soon as we started this thing. Eaglin on the Panini Motorsports number 57, just rounding out the top 5 now. 6th right now for Daniel Mills on the JDR number 31. And right behind him is Benjamin Saves on the 54 Architect machine, hold down 7th. 8th right now for Trevor Burns on the 122 Nova GFX machine. Really solid ride for Burns, and he's actually going to go into 7th as Benjamin Saves just hit the deck. So Saves gonna drop back to 8th, it looks like. Somehow got up still in 8th. Jacob Hubbard, BlastMX.com number 75, runs in 9th. And rounding out your top 10 is Ethan Gerst on the Rival Decal number 160 actually, but he has 260 on his bike because he hasn't changed that skin pack just yet. But he is actually the number 160. Luke Sullivan on the QM1 11 runs in 11th, fitting the number well. John Heilman, SwapMotoLive.com number 191, runs in 12th. 13th for Luke Magnetti on the BPC number 107. And oh, big crash at the bottom of the hill for Kevin Gonzalez on the number 3 Takatoji machine. He is running in 14th. 15th, Jonathan Alexander, QM1 number 89. 16th for Trent Adams, but he gets put to the ground. Zoe Cross now moves to 16th on the MXLocker.com number 56. Going through by Adams is Trevor Spencer on the SwapMotoLive.com number 192. He moves to 17th. 18th now for Adams, Takatoji on the 22. 19th, home race, 3rd fastest qualifier, terrible moto to this point. Nathan Prin, Panini Motorsports number 130. So he swapped teams. He's no longer on Impact. Went over to Panini, team hopping like it's nobody's business. And Charles Gable on the number 92 Privateer effort rounds out your top 20. And that has been a top 20 rundown. These are all the points paying positions currently. And they're brought to you by Tagger Designs. Check them out today. Back out front, still Dickerson weaving through lap traffic, but Lang has actually passed Colby Eagland and Payson Johnson. So Tyler Lang has moved up into 2nd. And we got a 3-rider battle. Oh, Johnson trying to get to the outside there, I guess, of his teammate Eagland, but it's not going to work. Eagland closes the door. Oh, 3 riders almost side by side over the top of the hill here. And in the air at the same time. Oh, man, Payson Johnson. Oh, he gets into his teammate, and down goes Lang. Lang was down on, that's the number 39, looks like. Dickerson still getting away scot-free, but Johnson, so that was Siebold on the 39 and 27th, who was down, or is that Shipley? Did I say Siebold? I think I meant Shipley. Anyway, Payson Johnson moves into 2nd, and Eagland now settles back into 3rd. Carter now into 4th, and Tyler Lang, just as fast as he got into 2nd, drops all the way back to 5th. So a bummer there for the 49. Oh, Braden Carter, a little wayward on entry into that corner. And it's still Payson Johnson with the lead. He's led this thing from the start. Got the whole shot and has led every lap. But he's probably got to be getting a little bit nervous about these guys and how close they're getting behind him. In fact, he actually did lose the lead last time by to Payson Johnson, but then Johnson crashed. So these guys are keeping him honest. Oh, Eagland a mistake, and Braden Carter takes full advantage. Whoa, Eagland. A little bit of timing gate lag there. We just had a really sick rave go on right there with the broadcast. So this battle continues on for 3rd. Drop down the hill. Can Eagland size something up on Braden Carter? Or is Carter just going to continue to pull out a little bit of a gap here? Looks like it is the latter. Carter getting away a little bit. Oh, and just as I say that, he goes down. Upside down. Oh, those crashes, they take forever like that. Gonna get up behind Tyler Lang, but he gets put on the ground again. Nice save. Oh, big crash coming down the hill. I think that was, who is that? Is that Siebold or Shipley? 39 always confuses me because that was Shipley's career number for a long time, but it's Siebold off the side of the track. So Siebold on the 39 Panini Motorsports, not running his, oh man, that was an awful tracker entry in front of the 42 there. I think that's Rasmus Eriksson, so Eriksson's probably not going to be absolutely thrilled with that, but they're so far down the order, I'm not sure if it matters much. And back to the front we go, and still Dickerson. Track's getting a little bit chopped up. Let's go on board with Payson Johnson and see what it looks like from his perspective. So 52.5, Payson Johnson still not able to quite run the times he was running earlier. And he's only got about 8.5 minutes left to try to saw this lead away from Dickerson. And Dickerson is about to find himself in a really comfortable pocket with limited lap traffic, probably for the next lap or two at least. You can see the track map in the upper right-hand corner of your screen. Dickerson has nobody in front of him basically for the entire next straightaway and a half, and really only like one person in front of him for the next 3 straightaways. So, oh man, Johnson, I thought he was going to land at the side of the track again. He's always getting real close there. Throwing caution to the wind though. Ooh, stood up in that rut there, and that will cost him a little bit of time. Teammate Eaglin just trying to hopefully capitalize on inexperience perhaps. Payson Johnson fresh to the winner's circle last week in the pro ranks. Oh, Dickerson had gone down and Johnson takes over the lead. Lead change in France. Payson Johnson to the front. So not sure what happened, but oh, Dickerson, oh man, he was overzealous. He wanted the spot back and he blows the corner, and now it's a Panini 1-2. MV Films has to respond. Lang goes through to third, and just like that, Dickerson has gone all the way back to fourth. Eaglin, a big mistake. That is going to cost him a lot of time going that slowly up the hill. And then Lang goes down at the top of the hill. What is happening? What is happening in this MX2 class right now? So Dickerson moves back into third. And he's trying to set sail after Eaglin for second, but Payson Johnson checks in as your new leader. Up to the top of the hill. Now can he hold it? He's been a little bit of a wild child here for most of this moto. And he's still got his teammate and Dickerson not too far behind him. So anything could happen. Looking at just about 6 minutes and 2 laps left to go. Scrubbing that so hard at the top of the hill. Payson Johnson, the new bad boy on the street, or the new talk of the town, I guess I should say, because he is proven those qualifying times are worth every single penny towards these race victories, and it seems like it's starting to take some of these mainstay guys by surprise. The Dickersons, the Langs, even his teammate Eaglin. They're just getting straight up beat right now. Oh, Johnson. Oh, man. He gets so out of shape coming down that hill, it seems like. His setup is just, it's quite a loose setup in that it seems like it's got a lot of moving around, moving parts. Sometimes you see guys and they're just smooth as butter. Usually 450 guys have that really smooth setup. Not Payson. Wild child. Throws the bike around. Carries so much speed in the corners. Checks in again on a lap 15, 25 minutes down, 5 minutes, and 2 laps remaining. Teammate Eaglin still sits second. Dickerson is third, and we've got a battle brewing for fourth right now as Braden Carter has caught up to the back of Tyler Lang, and incidentally enough, this is kind of the battle for the championship lead at the moment. Payson Johnson definitely clawing a lot of points away from these two. But Carter wants to snatch that red plate away from Tyler Lang, and he might have got that pass done. Lang blew the inside rut and just kind of bounced in front of Carter. Fortunately, Carter didn't actually fall there. Very easily could have been a fall-off crash with how much He got thrown around. But instead, Lang takes advantage and holds the position for the time being. And he comes up short. So Carter goes back to work. Still D-Mills holding down the 6th ride. Benjamin saves his 7th. Trevor Burns putting in a very solid effort in 8th. 9th right now goes to Jacob Hubbard. And Luke Sullivan goes one higher than his number. He's now running 10th on the number 11. So Sullivan is just slowly making moves towards a better finish inside of the top 10. I think this top 5 is pretty set at this point with this group out front and how fast they are turning laps right now as Johnson checks in again. Has he bettered his lap? No, he's still running in the 50s, but got that lead out to 9.3 seconds. And if you're new to MX Simulator, maybe you've never watched before or you're confused about how this works, when you crash in this game, you don't actually ever let go of the handlebars on the motorcycle. So when you crash and your legs fall off, we always call it a fall-off crash or a legs-off crash, perhaps. That's what you also refer to it as. And those crashes can take anywhere from about 8 to 12 seconds depending on the severity of your initial crash. If you have a cartwheel level crash, it's about 12 seconds. If you have a slight tip over and just kind of knock your head on something, it's about 8 seconds. So always 8 to 12 seconds. So we usually kind of slice that in half and say if you got a 10-second lead, you're pretty comfortable in a position where you could fall and still get up out front. But definitely he's comfortable now because he's got a 13.7-second lead, and it's continuing to expand as I believe his teammate is now the man in second. It is Eagland moving into the 2 spot. So Dickerson, well, Eagland was already in the 2 spot, but he'd lost a lot of time, and Dickerson was not able to really capitalize on it either because he's now being under attack here by Lang and Braden Carter. So this is developing into a bit of a 3-rider battle. But none of them are going to be too excited to see Payson Johnson pulling away at the front. Dropping down the hill, Lang trying to close up on Dickerson, carrying so much momentum. Look at that, it was like one line established. And everybody swings to the outside and hooks that outside banking. And then they go to the top of the hill, and actually that time it seemed like Dickerson took a different line than those guys. Oh, but he's down. Dickerson is down, but he's gonna get right back up alongside Carter. Carter trying to shut the door, and he does. Dickerson goes middle rut again. Still almost side by side. This is now a battle for 4th because Lang just moved up to 3rd. Oh, just can't quite get it there for the 260. Just under a minute left on the clock. Double up the hill. Oh, triple. A triple line there for Dickerson. First man on the 250 we've seen attempted. We'll see it probably more often in the 450 class later on. But again, there's Dickerson trying to search for a better line down the inside. And Carter's closed right back up to the rear wheel of Lang. So this 3-rider battle continues. And there's Carter down the inside, makes the move on Lang. And Lang fights back and gives him a nudge off the racetrack. So Carter comes flying back on, almost makes contact with him. And they both scrub this jump. And Lang's trying to size something up. Let's see if he's got something at the bottom of the hill. Oh, just coming out of the trees. Carter controls the line to the bottom, and he's in 3rd now, but a great drive by Lang at the bottom. Which way is he going to go, left or right? He ends up going left. That ends up outside, but it squares off this corner a little better. Just can't quite get it there. And Carter looks like he has now solidified that position. A nice move, Braden Carter. Strategic race lines, putting himself in the right spot, but I'll tell you what, this is not over yet. Lang's starting to fight back again. Both of them would be much happier ending up with a 3rd in this moto than a 4th. And quite honestly, both of them would rather just beat each other than anything. Here's Siebold on the 39 though, but getting put a lap down by these two. Moves out of the way. I think that was Michael Mudge flipping. Siebold, very nicely done. Carter actually pulling away. Carter trying to pull away a little bit and go after Eagland. Oh, Payson Johnson's caught up in some stuff here. So Johnson was kind of mixed up with some lap traffic. Look at this, though. So Braden Carter, as he comes down this hill, look at how chopped out this hill is getting. Both sides of the track. Carter just kind of triple doubling all the way down the hill. Misses the rut. That's going to allow Lang to get right back up on his tailpipe here. Oh, man. This track's getting so rough. Let's just take a look at Lang's perspective here. 2-lap board is out, though, for our race leaders. I'm surprised that this hill actually hasn't got torn up too much with how fast they carry speed down the hill here, but other parts of the track getting a little bit worse as Lang's just trying to carry some speed up the hill. And they go through this double on the inside. And that was not Eagland. I thought it might have been. Oh, Lang trying to hop over. And Carter just right in front of him. Oh, big notch there in that rut coming up the hill. And oh, Lang goes down. Big one off the side of the track. Kind of falls down the cliff there. And they're actually just lapping Nathan Prynne. Unbelievable. So there goes Dickerson through. Terrible track entry there by Lang, but does not get into Kevin Gonzalez, who they're also putting a lap down. And white flag waves for your race leader, Payson Johnson, out front. One more lap to go. Trying to win his 3rd Pro-moto in 3 chances here, live on SYS TV. Definitely come out of the woodwork here. I'd heard that name for years in discussion with amateur racing, and I've seen some people reference that this is somebody else using Payson Johnson's name, but I don't think that's true in the slightest for sure, because Johnson's been a fast amateur for years and now showing it on the pro level at a fairly consistent basis, and right now proving that he is here to stay and be a threat for not only the Pro Motocross Championship in the game, which will be getting their racing back started up on Wednesday night, but also the GP Championship, trying to become a world champion and a national champion in the same season as a rookie in the MX2 region and 250 classes, respectively. Making it look easy. Braden Carter. Oh, he got around Eagland, and Eagland's trying to fight back. Eagland has this line where he sends it down the hill. He kind of swoops into this rut and launches, but he doesn't hook the rut clean, so Carter holds him at bay. Now outside move Eagland. He's going to try inside here, and he puts him down. He puts himself down too. Carter stood up in the corner. Lang is not close enough, so Carter goes through. Oh my goodness, that was all kinds of crazy there. And Carter takes full advantage of it to actually lock down second in this moto. Perhaps an overzealous move there for Lang, but last lap, so you got to do stuff like that. Meanwhile, up front, Payson Johnson brings it to the flag. MX2 Race 1 in France goes to Payson Johnson on the 351. His debut with Panini Motorsports ends in a victory. And Braden Carter, oh boy, he just slid out. And here comes Eagland. Eagland's going to take it. He's going to take it back right before the flag. Carter's going to send it in and try to get it back, but he's just going to miss out. Oh, Eagland over the line in second, 8/10 in it. Lang crosses the line 4th. After Carter finished 3rd, Isaiah Dickerson, who led so much of this race, looks like he's going to end up 5th. Sullivan back here in 7th because Daniel Mills is in 6th. 8th right now, Trevor Burns. He's just been there that entire time. Oh, Benjamin Saves was trying to go after Hubbard and just went down. And Trent Adams, I don't believe, is going to get there. So everything kind of separated. Zoe Cross was the first man a lap down in 12th. Man, that just worked out enough there for Eagland to get the spot back. But a reminder that early in the moto, he had to go around the double at the bottom of the hill. And I mentioned then that it could come down to cuts for him in a close battle, and that may very well be exactly what we're about to see. 8/10 in it. No idea how many cuts he would have gotten from missing that double, and maybe he garnered some cuts from a couple other off-track excursions later in the lap, but curious to see if cuts will affect this one. Hubbard coming through. Gonna wrap up 9th in this one. Benjamin saves. Looking to pick up 10th. And Trent Adams will get 11th. It was Cross 12th. Ethan Gerst ended up 13th. 14th for Heilman. 15th for Prin. And his home Grand Prix, not the way you wanted to start things off tonight. Trevor Spencer was 16th. 17th goes to Kevin Gonzalez. 18th, Luke Magnetti. 19th for Jonathan Alexander. And 20th, final points paying position went to Trent Shepard. Let's see. And it did, in fact, change it. In fact, Eagland dropped all the way to 4th. Wow, Eagland. He had 5.02 seconds of cuts, dropped all the way to 4th. Payson Johnson actually had, very minimal cuts. But yeah, Carter takes over 2nd, and he actually almost lost 3rd, or lost 2nd to 3rd place finisher Tyler Lang because he had 1.33 seconds of cuts there at the bottom. So wow, that was really close in the end. It was Johnson, Carter, Lang, the podium. Eagland ends up 4th, Dickerson 5th, Mills looking through the running order. Let's see if anybody else swapped positions. And it doesn't look like it. It looks like it all stayed the same. Holy moly cow. What a crazy ending to that one that was. But it was Payson Johnson stamping a win off here in MX2 Race 1. And now we got a 5-minute break. So if you guys have any questions in the chat that you would like to ask me or discuss or anything along those lines, if you have an MX Simulator related question or not, if you have anything related question, I'm happy to discuss and talk about while we kind of wait out this 5-minute break. Chat seems fairly lively tonight, so that's good news. Alrighty then. When will the cat and mouse video be up, says Carrie Fleming. I think it's going to come up this week. I got a couple things I'm trying to get wrapped up so when my daughter arrives, either if it's tonight, tomorrow, Wednesday, whenever she ends up coming, I can take a couple days off from making content so that you guys have some built up stuff. So I think that's going to be one of them, and eventually, it'll come out probably, I would guess, because I think she's probably going to be born either tomorrow or Wednesday, that you'll see it either Wednesday or Thursday or something like that. Let's see. Is MX Simulator on Steam? No, it's not on Steam, but you know that, Smidley. Can you make more enduro track walks, says Braden Armbrust? Yeah, I'm actually having a plan to do not like a week of enduro track walks, but like maybe a month of enduro track walks. I don't know. I'm going to try to squeeze a couple like enduro-centered track walks in because I know people love the long play enduro track walks that I normally do. Kellen, do they play on Guitar Hero controllers or DJ Hero controllers? Probably. The weirdest MX Simulator setup I ever knew, other than the guy that actually built a handlebar that he mounted to his desk and then played it with like a throttle, and I think the clutch and the front brake were in the right spot, but then the brake was like a button on the left hand or something like that. So that was a weird setup. No, the weirdest setup was Mark Zeidler won the 2012 250 East Championship way back in the day. Fat 325 on the forums. I think a lot of people know him. He ran the Fat 3 Motorsports Series, or PMS Racing, on the forums for a long time. He had a button throttle, and he used D-pad. So he had a button throttle, like I think it was X on a PlayStation 3 controller, and then he used the D-pad to turn, and then his rear brake was the left pedal on his sim racing setup. So he had like a steering wheel and then pedals underneath the desk to, gas and brake with his sim racing setup. I think the rear brake was the left pedal and the front brake was the right pedal. So such a weird setup, but he won a championship with that. So anyway, Steve Harris wants to know, how's Racer X treating me so far? It's great. I love it. Love every second of it. Great team of people there to work with, and I'm super happy with my job. Moto-Sun wants to know, Kellen, when is Jacob's Ladder track walk coming? Yeah, that is something Alex Heckman and I are trying to get together on, because the first video was very successful and Heckman was in it. So Heckman and I are trying to get together for the sequel. But thanks, Moto-Sun, for building that. That's really cool. Kellen, do you dirt biking in real life? Yes, I do. Is the Reflex Hangtown track review coming? Yes, it is, Racer Rat. I actually have that as another thing that's kind of queued up in the things that will be released when my daughter is born, so I can take a couple days off. Do you professional in the simulator? Question from Denmark. You guys are dorks. No, because I suck at this game. Steve Harris asks, any big life changes coming up, like moving or traveling, etc.? I think the biggest life change is, yeah, my daughter's going to be born in like 2 days, or tonight, or tomorrow, or something like that, so any day. But yeah, I probably am going to do a lot more traveling soon. I know I was doing some traveling to cover some video game related stuff, but that all went on hiatus with the COVID situation. So as we come out of that, I think I'll be doing kind of a lot of traveling again for video game related content, and to go cover races for RacerXOnline.com as well. So what PC will run MX Simulator? Lots of PCs. I'd recommend checking out JOV's list of recommended specs and then trying to build a PC that's better than those list of recommended specs. Will I be back on the Pulp MX show, CB Gaming 72? I think so. Steve still talks to me and we still chit-chatting every now and then, and I think he liked me being on the show. I think that just right now with everything that's crazy, and obviously, you know, I'm quite occupied with pregnant wife and all that stuff, that he just hasn't invited me back, but I think at some point he will, hopefully. I had a good time, and Steve's a good dude, and his show's a lot of fun. I've always been a big fan of his show, so maybe someday. Parade lap out there right now for MX2 Race 2. And, yeah, they're off and running. Steve Harris wants to know, will I be attending Loretta's? I think so. I haven't been confirmed with that yet, but you know, obviously working at Racer X, which is owned by Racer Productions, essentially, it's not, there's a weird dynamic there, but essentially Davey Coombs, who runs MX Sports, is my actual boss at Racer X, and I think they throw a lot of hardcore coverage and all this stuff out at Loretta's, so I hope I get the chance to go to Loretta's. Loretta's is a blast, and if I get a chance to announce Loretta's, man, that'd be freaking insane. It'd be so fun. Dirt Biker wants to know, do I race dirt bike? Yes, I do. I do race dirt bikes. Racer Rat, sweet. I can confirm some more big tracks coming through this year for Reflex. Awesome. I'm really excited for all the stuff that's still coming out in Reflex, because like, I love Reflex and I would play it all the time, but I know a lot of people that watch my content are, you know, they're more interested in like the new stuff, like what's new and upcoming and new stuff and blah, 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 blah. But there's a huge influx of people that when the new stuff comes out always say, oh, Reflex is so much better, which, like, honestly, like, in a sense, yeah, it is. Like, the gameplay is so much more fun than a lot of the new stuff, in my opinion. But regardless of which, it's always great for that audience to then follow up all the new stuff with a classic Reflex, you know, gameplay of some kind, either a new track from the RDC track crew with Reflex and all the stuff that they do over there, or, you know, Nick DeLeon makes a lot of great tracks, and can't ever go wrong with Wake Ali and a couple other people there, so. Yeah, working at Racer X is awesome, Anthony. It's a freaking blast. And yeah, yes, we do have a name for our daughter, although I said it on a stream a couple weeks ago, and then my wife was like, well, I don't know if we're really publicly saying it, but we have a name picked out. All right, folks. Time to get excited. MX2 Race 2 on the gate and ready to go. Get those revs up. Let's see who's going to win the MXSGP of France right now at Saint-Jean-d'Angely. Oh, good start from Carter this time on the 18. Looks like he's going to get there. I saw Dickerson kind of got swallowed up in the middle, and Lang also got a mid-ish pack start around 10th or so on those MV Film Hondas, but it's Braden Carter, Race Tech Whole Shot, second moto, and trying to get away early. Benjamin saves right there behind him. Hubbard in the mix. Everybody mixed together. Jeremy Siebold, a good start this time around, so let's see what he can do with a good start. John Heilman's up here, and Lang actually is the first of the other mix of contenders to come through. No sign yet of the Panini Motorsports teammates of Payson Johnson, who won the first moto, and Colby Eagland, who actually had finished second but ended up fourth on cuts in that first moto, so we'll see how they progress through the field. Out front, though, Braden Carter. So Carter ended up second in the first moto because of that cut that was given to Colby Eagland. And now that he runs in first in this moto, he's looking like he's in a really good spot to perhaps win this Grand Prix and take the red plates with him to the halfway point of the season next week. So Carter leads early, saves coming down the hill in second, under attack already. Jeremy Siebold, much better start this time. Oh, but he's going to get into saves, who slides out, and he goes down. So Hubbard goes through, Lang goes through, Sullivan goes through. I think that was Heilman, Mills. Man, I think a couple others snuck around. I did see Payson Johnson right there on the 351 on the right side of your screen swinging wide, but his teammate's trying to go inside, and down goes Eagland as he doubles into the rollers, and then Brandon Nygren gets landed on by Siebold, I think that is, and literally everybody's going down. It's an absolute minefield through the rollers right now. Holy smokes, there were so many people down at the top of the hill there, but getting through was this group of 10 people or so at the front, including race leader Braden Carter. Jacob Hubbard now moves into second, Sullivan right here in third, and Lang is in fourth. Daniel Mills hot on his heels in fifth. Oh man, Lang just had a big save at the bottom of the hill. He was completely sideways. Really nicely done there for the 49. Mills trying to sneak up the inside before the finish line jump. Now Sullivan putting pressure on Hubbard. This is for the 2 ride. Remember, Sullivan did a really nice job to end up 7th in that first moto with just calm, calculated ride. He was running 11th, and he was 10th, and he was 9th, and he was up into 7th by the last lap of the race and finished 7th in that first moto. Now he's in a great position with a good start early on. Under attack, though, from Tyler Lang coming behind him. Down to the bottom of the hill they go. Sullivan defends nicely. Up into the center of the track again. What does Lang have for an opportunity to maybe make a pass here? Kind of turning into a one-line track here early on. Oh, Hubbard launched! Hubbard launched and cased the triple. I think he was just trying to get the double, but he cased the triple and went down. I didn't even see him because he just went out of our screen. Unbelievable. And it allows Lang to move into second because at the end of the section after Hubbard had launched, Sullivan lost the front wheel and went down. And now Payson Johnson's trying to out-drag him into turn 1, and Johnson slides out. So lucky not to go down and off the bike there, but he's going to lose a lot of time as he's trying to get righted going up the hill. Down the inside goes Hubbard to get him back. Jonathan Alexander right there. And Benjamin Saves goes down the inside of Jonathan Alexander, moves him out of the way, puts Charles Gable on the ground. Eagland's trying to jump down, almost hits Gable, and around the outside of him comes Hunter Braun on the 243. So frantic action throughout the field here. Look at inside move. Oh, there's Johnson. Payson Johnson is down again, and he's hung up in the corner here with Dickerson. They're a little bit further down the field now. Looks like in about 15th spot. So that is trying times for the 351. working their way up the hill into the center of the track once again. And dropping back down. Look at that move Johnson putting around the outside of Trevor Burns. Man on a mission today, getting reports that Braden Carter had hit the deck. And it's true, Tyler Lang is in the lead in France. And again, this just continues the battle for the points lead. Lang third in the first moto, and Carter second in the first moto. Both of them trying to win the second moto and essentially decide who will be the points leader after this Grand Prix. Of course, Payson Johnson would like to get up there and have a word with them about who will be the points leader. But right now, he's a little bit further down the field and has a long way to go to get to the front. But how about Daniel Mills on the 31 trying to get into the mix, and Lang just went off the track. Mills tucks inside to try to get both of them, and he's going to shut the door, and oh, he gets into him, and they go slamming off the racetrack. So Carter was getting the door shut on him there, and he still jumped into the outside, and Mills just kind of jumped into him, a little cross jump action, kind of both of them incidental contact, and Mills gets dragged to the ground just as he was going to the race lead. Carter ends up still in second, right behind Lang, who just takes over the lead again. And now Luke Sullivan finds himself in third, in it with a shot at battling for the lead of the race. Boy, oh boy, that happened quickly. Payson Johnson comes across 10th right now, 16 seconds down to the leaders. Still has a lot of time of this race, though, to work his way to the front, as we're looking at about 23 minutes and 2 laps still to go. Just kind of taking a look at the timing and scoring real quick to see where everybody is situated. Of course, this battle out front is one to watch, but we also want to keep an eye on where exactly Eagland, Dickerson, and Payson Johnson get to in this race. And Payson Johnson's lost more positions again. He's down in the 14th spot, so he was 10th last time by. Timing and scoring updating again. Where is Eagland? Eagland 21st, but he's going to make a couple spots up here. Actually, it looks like only 2 spots. Gets into 19th. Man, that early crash really negatively impacted Eagland. Trying to get around the 177 of Cavacuti back here. And this is kind of what it's like to just be mixed in with this group of people at the back. See a close battle as Payson Johnson just went down again. But here's a nice battle between Heilman and Mills. And Tyron Tomich with a much better start this time around. They're battling inside of the top 10. So what can Daniel Mills do about John Heilman, and what can all 3 of these riders do about Benjamin Saves? Trying to close in. Mills might have a move lined up down the inside here. Heilman sends it in and hooks in that rut. Mills trying to search for new lines to take to maybe open up a passing opportunity. It's definitely quite a one-line track early in the running because everybody's just trying to funnel into that one really main line. Here's Mills trying to get to that inside rut. Gosh, he was so late on the brakes, and it works. Incredible speed down the hill by Daniel Mills to make that move on John Heilman. And next up, Tyron Tomich trying to go to work on the 191. Tucks inside. Drops back down the hill. Let's see if he's going to go inside-outside option here. He's going middle. Oh, but he blows the rut. That cost him a little bit of time there. Man, Eagland, Nathan Prynne, both outside of points right now. 2 guys that were looking to make a big dent today, championship-wise, and it is not working out in their favor whatsoever. Meanwhile, as we're hitting the 10-minute mark of this one. Battle brewing for the lead. Let's do a lap time check real quick. 48.6 to a 49.6. Carter is reeled in. Oh, and just as I say that, he slides out on the face of this jump. Ah, Braden Carter. No luck, sunshine. Down to 5 seconds behind. Just as quickly as he got to Lang. Coughs all that time right back up, and now Luke Sullivan hot on his heels. Teammates disputing P2 on the racetrack. Carter is probably going to be so disappointed with this because I think he thought he had Lang fairly well covered in that first moto. And Lang ends up finishing 1 spot behind him. And now Lang is in a position to win the Grand Prix and even actually extend his points lead. Not a big extension, but a little bit. Enough that makes Carter probably not too thrilled about the situation. Jacob Hubbard still holding on to a strong 4th on the VlastMX.com number 75. Good starter is Hubbard. And usually when he starts up front, he can finish up front with the best of them. Not a good start in the first moto, and you see how that impacted his results. But this time around, just nearly misgrabbing the whole shot. He was kind of out-dragged, I guess, by Carter into the first corner. And because of that, just not quite able to snag the whole shot, but did come through right inside of that top 5 early on. Now finds himself 4th. A little further back, we see Daniel Mills. He's kind of circulating. And change for the lead. Braden Carter to the front. So something happened to Tyler Lang. He is now behind Luke Sullivan. Must have been a fall-off crash given that time difference because he was about 5 seconds up on Carter. Now he's about 4 seconds or so behind him. Definitely indicative of a fall-off crash. Jacob Hubbard, Daniel Mills as we were going through the field. Isaiah Dickerson putting in a great charge to get towards the front here and salvage some solid points in this one. Again, still losing points to championship rivals like Braden Carter and Tyler Lang, but at the moment, salvage mode for him. It's all it takes sometimes. Maybe he catches fire late in the season, starts winning a lot of races in a row, and these points that he salvaged here today by charging forward when everybody was a little bit kind of wayward early on and started going down in that mid-pack battle. Dickerson was able to avoid the chaos, picking up good points right now. Heilman and Burns still continuing a little bit of a battle here just inside the top 10. And Tyron Tomich right off the back of them. Benjamin Saves, Kevin Gonzalez, Hunter Braun, Trent Adams, Ethan Gerst, and then Race 1 winner Payson Johnson, who is on a bit of a struggle bus right now. 47.5 last time by, so he just set one of his best laps of the race, but he is in 15th right now, and he is a long way off the lead group and looking at possibly not taking home the Grand Prix victory today unless things turn around in a hurry for the 351. But it starts with starting to make a couple passes here on some of the people in front of him. It's like trying to get up to Ethan Gerst here. Going to shoot down the inside. Gets that pass done. Jumps off the track, but rejoins just in front. Now 2 seconds off of P13. You can see the way the track is already developing. Look at these guys. They all just go to this rut here that funnels to the outside so they can bank up the hill and carry as much speed as possible to go to this outside rut. And then they stay low on the inside-outside option to double smoothly into this corner to the outside rut again. Jump down the hill, swing to the outside again, carry a lot of speed to the bottom of the hill. And this time he's going to go second from the outside because he doesn't want to follow Trent Adams there. Might make a move. Does he get it actually done? Up to 12th, jumping into the corner. Blocks the line off into 12th. Tyron Tomich getting a little wayward coming down the hill. 59.2 for Johnson, so he must have fallen at the beginning of this lap, but he just made up 3 positions and made it look easy, and he's got a couple more lined up in front of him as we're going to stick on board with him here. Down the inside of Tomich into 11th. See if he gets that pass locked down into this rut here. He does. Jumps back down the hill. And now he's setting off after a potential top 10 already. Even if he gets third in this moto with Lang winning the moto or even Carter winning the moto, won't make a difference. He will still not win the Grand Prix, so he's got to hope for someone different to get up there and mix things up if he can get into third or potentially fourth and maybe just squeak this thing home with a 1-4. But around the outside into 10th. Trevor Burns coughing up that position. Now Johnson down the inside. You can see Benjamin saves. And looks like Kevin Gonzalez, I believe, on the 3 is at the top of the hill there. There are his next targets. Oh, big launch. Gonzalez into the rollers. Very Gautier Paulin-esque. And look at this line. Around the outside, Payson Johnson trying to stay low. Benjamin saves, goes for the defense in the middle of the rut. And a little wayward up the road is Gonzalez, but swinging outside is Payson Johnson trying to take full advantage and get a drive down the start straight. Misses the rut, though, and that cost him some time. So saves trying to size up a move on Kevin Gonzalez. This is crazy action right here, watching this battle for 8th on board with Payson Johnson. He's going to go inside at the top of the hill and try to shut the door, and he does shut that door. So that's how you make a block pass there towards the top of the hill, and now he's trying to close up onto the back of Kevin Gonzalez. This time falls into the rut behind him. Scrubs coming up the hill. Jumps across the inside rut, and just like that moves into 8th. So we just were on board with Payson Johnson as he climbed from 15th to 8th. Did a 49.6 in traffic. He's absolutely ripping right now. Damn it, I just pressed the wrong button again. I always do that. My apologies. Trying to catch John Heilman would be his next target. Luke Sullivan. Isaiah Dickerson just got around Luke Sullivan. And Braden Carter has lost some positions. Daniel Mills is ahead of him. Hubbard and Lang now in the lead again as we're past the halfway point. So Tyler Lang continues to lead. Hubbard now finds himself into 2nd, and he is launching the wall. So many guys are starting to do that. Nobody was doing it in the first moto except Hubbard. And now we just saw Gonzalez do it in traffic a little bit ago, and Hubbard himself just launched it while in 2nd. It's an interesting play because it does gain a fraction of a time if you get it clean, but it's a big gamble because if you don't get it clean, you're going to lose either a lot of time or you'll go down, as we saw with Hubbard in that first moto as well. So interesting to see they're going back to that jump line. And right now it's working out, at least for Hubbard's sake, as Carter trying to close in. Daniel Mills right behind him on the 31 is keeping things close. Little table single option up to the top of the hill. Carter lands so clean in that rut. Carries his momentum through, trying to keep Jacob Hubbard honest here for the 2 spot. And I think both of them are just trying to catch Tyler Lang. It seems like that gap is coming down a little bit here. See Lang here at the top of the hill. There is Hubbard not too far behind him. Then Carter and Daniel Mills coming through. So the top 4 separated by just about 5-6 seconds. Not too much time in it at all for our lead 4 riders. Creeping up on just past the 18-minute mark, actually, and Hubbard just made a mistake and went off the track, but then Carter slid out. So, and Daniel Mills, I think he just maybe went down. He lost some time to these guys. So Carter has to go back to work on Hubbard, and you can see Lang just disappearing out of view. There he is again. Flash of red going through the screen there. Red plate holder on a red bike. There he is again. Hubbard not launching the wall this time. Settles into the scrub option instead. And there is Carter around the outside launching down the hill, but he goes off the track, so very wisely lets Hubbard take the spot back. Does not want to gain an advantage while off track. Cuts obviously would be a factor there, but also could get penalized for gaining advantage. Let's see if Carter gets a move down the inside. Hubbard's trying to size him back up underneath. Backs out of the challenge though. And a nice move there for Carter. Hubbard trying to go inside into this corner as well. Not going to work. Carter makes that pass stick. And now he's going to try to set sail after Tyler Lang to win not only the Moto, but the Grand Prix and take the red plates away from him. So this would be a huge pass if he can get it done. Oh, and there's Lang down. Lang down with the lead. And there goes Carter and Hubbard through, so Lang drops back to 3rd. Mills now coming through right here in 4th, right behind him, and that gives the advantage back to Carter in this one. So Braden Carter trying to go 2-1 and win 2 Grand Prix on the trot. But he just got passed. Jacob Hubbard, new leader. MXSGP of France right now being led by the 75 VlastMX.com machine. 20 minutes into the moto. Carter back inside trying to get it locked down. Gets the pass back and takes over the lead once again. Tight action for the lead. And you can't forget about Lang and D-Mills just off the back. So they head back up the hill. It is Carter, it is Hubbard, it is Lang, and it is Daniel Mills. 1, 2, 3, 4 still so close together. Anything could happen. Just one mistake, and you could go from leading this thing to fourth in an instant. Now Lang trying to put the pressure back on Hubbard for the 2 ride. Putting some pressure on Hubbard, maybe trying to force him into a mistake. That was kind of what Carter's motive was out front. Oh, Carter's down! Carter's down on the start straight. What a weird spot to go down at the end of the start straight. Must have tucked front wheel in that long rut that's swinging out there. So that puts Hubbard back into the lead with Lang trying to go through. And Lang again would be in the position to win the Grand Prix if he can make this pass. I think he's in the position to win the Grand Prix right now anyway. Unless Payson Johnson charges forward, but this is exactly what Payson Johnson was hoping for, because if Hubbard can win this moto, it takes that 25 points away from Tyler Lang or Braden Carter, who would dethrone his chance at winning today in France. Inside move, Lang just doesn't get there. Hubbard defends nicely, and the staircase coming down the hill right now. Huge braking bumps. Lang right on the back door. Can he get something done? Look at Hubbard again swinging wide here. He likes that outside move, but if you can get to that inside line, it seems faster, and almost tuck the front wheel again. Lang is desperate to make a move and try not to get taken down in this situation. But Hubbard is holding strong at the front. Oh man, he was sideways coming down the hill. He's gonna have to swing wide. Inside move, Lang, does he get the pass done? Oh, it's still side by side, bar to bar up the hill. And Hubbard holds the inside to keep the lead for the time being. Does he launch the wall? He does launch the wall. Big time air for Hubbard out front. And Lang's trying to counter back by doubling to this run and launching down the hill. Does he get it? Oh, he pushes him out. And then he gets into him. Oh my goodness, what a move by Lang. Back and forth we go for the lead, and Tyler Lang takes it back over. So it's Lang to the front. Hubbard settles back in a second. Daniel Mills is now third with Carter right behind him. And Dickerson is right on the back of these guys in fifth. Eaglin now runs in sixth. Gonzalez seventh. Heilman is eighth. Ninth for saves. 10th Sullivan. 11th Tomic. 12th Nathan Prynne. Payson Johnson has dropped all the way back to 13th. And he looks furious with himself. He's riding over his head. He's crashing. And this is kind of the rookie in him coming out a little bit. He could have settled in. He could have tried to just take home a 6th or a 7th, salvage some good points, but he's crashing his way deeper down the field as the time goes on, and this is not exactly how he wanted to end his night at all. Carter trying to get the move on Mills, puts him into the banners and takes him down. Down goes Daniel Mills. Does he lose another spot? He's going to get going just as Eaglin gets there. So now Carter sets sail after Dickerson, who's taking full advantage of those guys. It's still Lang and Hubbard out front, though, and this battle could continue going on here. Oh, man, Dickerson has Carter right behind him, and Carter's going to try this inside move at the bottom of the hill. It's worked for some, and Carter is going to make it stick because Dickerson ran into a tough block. Carter back into third. Back and forth all the way throughout the field. It has been an up and down kind of race. And overalls hang in the balance still. It is Lang who would take it home right now with a 3-1. But Carter's so desperate to get up there and make something happen to win this race and maybe even steal the points lead away in the process from Tyler Lang. Inside move, Dickerson, he's going sharp down the inside to try to get to Carter. Wow, that was desperation to say the least. Not sure where he was going. He backed out of the challenge and then looked like he sent it in late there and still didn't hit him. Not sure what was going on there. 25 minutes down, 5 minutes and 2 laps left to go in this moto. And Lang checks in onto lap number 15. Hubbard right behind him. Let's do a lap time check. A 50.8 to a 52.6. So Lang extending that lead over Hubbard right now. But Hubbard's still sitting right here just in case something happens and trying to steal a moto win right from underneath these guys' teeth. As Carter runs a 49.6, he's in third, 5 seconds behind Hubbard. And Dickerson right now, 11 seconds down, 2:02.3. So he must have gone down, and he's lost touch now with Braden Carter trying to get that triple up the hill, but just doesn't quite get it. Daniel Mills does the same behind him, did a 2:03.1, so he went down last time through, 2 seconds off of Dickerson. And Eagland is the man on the charge this moto right now. He was 4th in that first one. He crossed the line 2nd, but dropped back to 4th on cuts. He's up to 6th now, but he's in it with a shot to maybe go 4-4 today and salvage some really solid points, especially when it wasn't that long ago. He was down in 21st battling with teammate Nathan Prynn. Dropping down the hill right behind Daniel Mills. Of course, Dickerson just off the front of these guys coming over the top of the hill. And the 260 MV Films ride now has some breathing room. He does not have Mills right on him either. Mills just coming over the wall jump as you just saw him pop in a frame. But Dickerson goes down. He blows the rut. So Mills goes through. Eagland goes through. Dickerson is trying to get going. He is going to get back up in the 5 spot, it looks like. 6 spot, I should say. So Dickerson now behind Eagland, and just like I said, Eagland trying to go 4-4 today. Could very well get this pass done on Mills to make it happen. Funnels in behind him. Time running down, 3 minutes and 2 laps remain. Ooh, big braking bumps there. Caused Eagland to miss the rut, and now he has lost touch with Daniel Mills. So that's a bit unfortunate on his end. Battle for second brewing. Hubbard has Carter reeling him in. And Carter seems like he's reeling in both riders out front. He could be on Lang before this thing is over if he's continuing up with his pace. The 18 machine absolutely flying, carrying so much speed to the bottom of the hill there. And Lang just coming down to the left side of your screen there. Just barely flashed out, and now Hubbard goes down and he takes Carter with him. Carter trying to sneak through, moves in a second. Hubbard is down though. Had a shot at the win, and looks like he just lost that shot entirely, dropping down to third, leaving it up to the 2 title combatants to battle it out for the win here today in France. Is Carter going to go 2-2 and settle for second, or can he run down Tyler Lang to take the win right away from him and the points lead to boot and go 2-1? Lang running 3-1 right now on the day, wins the overall as it runs and extends his points lead by 1 point over Carter. Heading into the halfway point, round 5 coming next week. This is a big part of the season. If you can get through these next 2 or 3 races and still be right in the thick of this title chase, then those last rounds down the stretch become much more interesting, much more strenuous for the racers, and much more interesting for us at home, of course. But you have a shot. That's all you need. Right now, Lang has been essentially the most consistent rider, which is what has given him the red plates to this point. But he's also won a couple Grand Prix. Trying to win another one today. So 29 minutes just went by. We're looking at 3 laps to go because he will not get to the flag stand again before time expires. So 3 to go in France. Lap time check. Carter 58.3 must have went down there towards the end. A 52.5 for Lang. 11-second lead on Carter. That is going to be huge for him down the stretch here. Daniel Mills up to 4th. Dickerson right here in 5th. Trying to get by. So Dickerson trying to make that move. Lap rider down. I think that might have been Cale Braden on the 233. Dickerson launching down the hill into the rollers. Oh, Mills down? Oh, man, how did he ride out of that? Daniel Mills drops back to 5th, so Dickerson moves up to 4th. Dickerson looking at 5-4 scores today. 4-6 on the docket for Eagland, who lost a spot to Dickerson since we last saw him. Oh man, Payson Johnson's got all the way up to 7th. Still unlikely he wins this Grand Prix. Needs some miracles. Time just expired. But at the very least, salvage some points. Get a 6th, get a 5th if you can take it. 7th is huge that he got to this point in the first place. 50.6 when nobody else on the track right now is running sub 52s is kind of incredible. Track definitely much more torn apart. It's that double through the inside. Wall jump. Powers down the backside. Double again. Into that inside rut. 3.8 seconds in it between his teammate up ahead of him. Now it's down to, or out to 4 seconds, I should say. So losing time as we're on board with him, but just so interesting to see the way he charges around the track late here. Man, carrying so much speed through these corners. And he's still really consistent on hop into this inside rut. 49.9. I mean, comparison to a 47.5, 44, or 54.2, 57.1, a 54.9, a 50.8, and a 53.7 out front. I mean, he is the only guy still going sub 150s. Kind of incredible. Meanwhile, 2-lap board is out. Lang has the lead. And Braden Carter is still trying to close this thing down to have a last-ditch effort at making the pass for the win. It's not close yet, but that doesn't mean it won't be close, especially because Carter took 3 seconds out of him last time through. Needs another 5 seconds, though, and in a hurry, so he's got to hope for something to happen to Lang, either a fall or something like that out front. Tyler Lang's just trying to make it through these last couple laps unscathed and take home another Grand Prix victory. Jumping down the hill. Oh, there it is! Lang down! Coming to the white flag. Tyler Lang goes down. He caught a rut. Coming down the hill, and Carter almost did the exact same thing, but Lang is going to get up right behind Carter, and the battle for the win is on. Carter just got a gift, but can he bring it to the line? White flag waves in France. 1 to go at Saint-Jean-d'Angely in the MX2 division. This is for the win of the Moto, the win of the Grand Prix, and the championship lead, I believe, if Carter can hold this on. Lang desperate. He wants this back. Just coughed up a sure Grand Prix win. Swinging outside. Carter tucks middle. Middle option again at the top of the hill. And now to the bottom. They both go to that far inside rut, and Carter right now is holding him steady. Oh my goodness, Lang is going to be heartbroken with this one if he can't steal this back from Lang, or from Carter, I should say. He's putting everything into it, but Carter's just riding so perfectly on this last lap. Oh, that's... Oh, man, he almost went over. Checks up. Downsides the wall. Lang is so close. And again, this still could come down to cuts. We saw in the first moto. And again, right there, Carter jumping off the track a little bit. You never know with cuts, so always get it as close as possible. Obviously, the idea is to make a desperation pass of some kind to get it close. But if you can get it within a second even over the line, you may still get it on cuts. This is coming down to the last few corners. Lang a little tuck of the front wheel at the top of the hill. That may be just enough for Carter to hold this on. Dropping down into the bottom of the hill one more time. He's got one turn to go. And barring cuts, as he comes through the final corner, Braden Carter comes through, and he will win the French Grand Prix in the MX2 class. Tyler Lang 1.4 seconds down in the end. Unbelievable. They both ran really fast laps at the end. And I believe that also gives Carter the points lead. It'll be close, though. I think it was a 5-point gap. I think it literally was just a 5-point swing. Boy, oh boy. So Hubbard comes across in third. A great effort for him on the 75. Oh, battle to the line. Eagland and Mills. Oh, they get together. They're both down. They're both off the bike. Dickerson's going to try to benefit. To the line. Mills comes across and gets into Dickerson. Eagland crosses fourth. What just happened? Mills trying to get up to get Dickerson over the line. Dickerson gets fifth. Mills gets sixth. Oh my goodness. Payson Johnson comes across seventh. What an effort here from Nathan Prynne to get back to eighth in his home Grand Prix. And he will hold that spot on Sullivan. And Gonzalez is going to wrap out the top 10. Tyron Tomic, a great ride here in 11th. Benjamin Saves just went down, coughed up 12th to Trevor Burns. So there's Saves over the line. And here is 14th Ethan Gerst. Going to pick up the 14th position in this one. John Heilman coming to the line. A send down the inside from Trent Adams. Doesn't get it done, though, and Heilman picks up 15th. Adams 16th. 17th for Magnetti. 18th is going to go to Trent Shepard. 19th is going to go to Hunter Braun, maybe, because Cavacuti's trying to get it. Last two men on the lead lap. Cavacuti going for a send. Doesn't get it, though, and they end up just missing out. So it was Heilman losing a spot to Trent Adams for 15th. And somehow, some way, that chaos up front stayed the exact same. Braden Carter wins the French Grand Prix. 2-1 scores on the day. Incredible finish to that moto. An unbelievable way to end this MX2 division in France. We're going to head to a quick break, but we will not go off air. Just a quick little intermission, but we'll be back on the other side of this quick break with more action. It's the French Grand Prix at Saint-Jean-d'Angely in France, and you're watching it live here on SYS TV.
I feel so alive. I've never felt this way before. It must be you and I. It's got me thinking about us more. It's these bright lights that put me in a daze, and I can't stop but think about the way that you move around, up and down on that stage. It's your future vibes. Bright lights that put me in a trance, so I feel like I can do it all. It's a good life that I really want. It's those future vibes. I got the future vibes.
Hello and welcome back to round 4 of the 2020 MXSGP World Championship. It is the MXSGP of France at Saint-Jean-d'Angely in France. We just got through with the MX2 division, and it was a wild race in that one down the stretch. But here was what the point standings looked like in that MX2 class entering the evening before that all got kicked off. So indeed, it will be a tie atop the points table with a 5-point gap between Carter and Lang, which is exactly how it's split in the motos tonight after round 4 of the championship. Here's the 450 standings, though. 2 points in it between Jack Haley and Alexis Leclerc. Defending champion Adam Holm a little further down the order, 26 points back of Leclerc, so he's got some work to do tonight, and we're going to see how well he can fare here tonight on the French soil, the home soil of Alexis Leclerc. Track, though, just about a couple of miles outside of Saint-Jean-d'Angely in France. It's 620 meters in length, over just a little over a mile, actually. And we're about 30 miles outside of La Rochelle. We're about 240 miles outside of Paris, France, and about 100 miles outside of Nantes in France as well. So kind of in the western, southwestern-ish portion of the country here, and really loose-based soil with rocky kind of terrain all mixed in, as it is on the MX Simulator track as well. So here's a lap around the racetrack, though. Right-hand first corner that these guys have been swinging wide through, and then they go swing wide through this corner as well. Then double across the top here, swing wide here, and then what they do is they jump down the hill. They go either inside or outside. We saw Tyler Lang have a big crash on that little roller on the inside in the second moto just not too long ago. Little middle rut action heading up the hill, a little table, and then a big single at the top, and guys are trying to jump into this final corner. There's ruts galore up here that they're trying to land in. Come down the hill, over that finish line, jump. So the first lap is actually very short on this racetrack, and we'll see in the Consolation race here in just a minute really how fast these guys find their way around the racetrack as well. A little double at the bottom of the hill before you swoop up to the top, and we'll see guys triple singling on the 450 class a little bit here tonight because they want to carry speed all the way to the top there. Sharp U-turn at the top, and then a double back down the hill to a sharp U-turn at the bottom, and back to the top. If you've heard this before, we have another sharp U-turn at the top. This goes left, and then a little kind of triangle section at the far end of the circuit from the start here kind of goes 130 degrees right and another 130, so it heads back up along the outside of the track to the very top of the hill again. And this is the highest point of the racetrack here, this big table, this race tech double in the back essentially. Little inside outside options there, guys going outside so they can carry speed down this hill, a little double down to the center of the circuit again, kind of by the finish line jump, and then the U-turn at the bottom. Looks like the second rut and the far outside options are the premier ones for racing here tonight. Double at the top of the hill again, inside outside option, jumping into the rollers or swinging outside and rolling into them so then you can carry speed into this wall jump. Saw some guys launch this wall jump down to the second roller there. A couple guys catching a lot of air, and then this really tricky single down into an off camber. A lot of guys going middle outside rut so they can carry speed to get into this penultimate corner at the top of the hill before dropping down in the final corner before you slingshot back down onto the start straight. And that's a lap here, Saint-Jean-d'Angely in France. Well, again, so glad you guys could join us here. MX1 racing about to get started. Of course, my name is Kellen Brauer here, bringing you guys the action tonight live on Start Your Systems. And before we get started, I want to reiterate again that my wife is very, very close to having our child. She could go into labor at any point. We really have no bearing or clue on when it will be. So we're just going to try to stream as long as we can. It doesn't seem like it's going to happen tonight. It seems like she's doing okay right now. I just checked on her and she's doing all right. So just want to put that caveat out there that if we have to go off the air during the middle of the broadcast, it's just because she's going to have the baby, so we have to run to the hospital. But we'll still have whatever moto we cut off in and the moto after that or whatever restreamed at a later date, and it'll be up. And the same thing is going to happen for Wednesday's race. So if you don't see the live broadcast on Wednesday, that will be restreamed at a later date. It'll be uploaded, and you'll be able to see all that action there. So just want to go ahead and kind of let you guys know that, so you aren't confused by why we just suddenly go off the air and don't come back. So just letting you guys know. But let's look at the qualifying times here in this 450 division. Alexis Leclerc, fastest qualifier, home Grand Prix, kind of expected, but a 43.710 to a 43.765 out of Walter Gebhardt. Very close times atop the table. And championship leader Jack Haley 2 seconds off of Alexis Leclerc's fast time up there. So really close between the top two, but then a big gap down to third, fourth, respectively, going down. But we're about to see the consolation race, which is 37 on back. So Anthony Pachone, Ian Holm, Matt Model, Jordan Vanderlee, Jeremy Gwiazdowski, to name a few that we're about to see lining up in this consolation race. It might not happen. It looks like we only have 12 people beyond 36 that ran lap times. So never know with this, the way that this thing goes. It could happen, it could not happen. We'll have to see. But we'll jump back in server and see. Looks like I'm still loading in. I'm not sure what's happening, but we'll see. So it looks like consolation race is going to be a go. It looks like there's, how many people? 9 people take part in this consolation race. And we'll see exactly who goes through to the motos. Billy Mole, I know that we are having a girl. So yeah, daughter about to be born any second. Could be tonight, could be tomorrow. The official due date is Wednesday. At least that is when our due date is supposed to be. But she could come late, she could come early, she could come whenever she's ready to come. So these guys, I guess, are they already racing? Maybe I missed that part. It looks like they already are racing on lap 3. So yeah, I guess this consolation race is going off. Doesn't really seem like it because these guys look like they're just kind of cruising around. But maybe this is a consolation race. I don't know. So either way, if it is a consolation race, it's Gwiazdowski out front, Braden L second, Mark Raffiani third, and Jordan Vanderlee in fourth. Ian Holm running in fifth right now. Ricky Hardman, Noah Napoli, Matt Model, Ricky Williams. This doesn't seem like it's it. There we go. Okay, I was going to say, these guys are so far down. All right, so 9 people are going for 4 spots in the motos, and we're about to find out who those 4 people are going to be. I like how they're all starting outside. Is anybody inside? Ricky Williams, look at the man, the myth, the legend, all the way down the inside, but everybody else lined up way out here. It's a consolation race in France. Into the first corner, it looks like it is Ian Holm getting that good start there. Matt Model is going to take the lead because Ian Holm just tucked the front wheel. Gwiazdowski trying to swing outside. He goes off the track. He's going to try to safely get back on as Jordan Vanderlee dropping down the hill behind him. And yes, Vanderlee, that is the same Jordan Vanderlee that was a multi-time winner in the 450 class in Race Factor Gaming competition. Finished second in the Supercross Championship in 2013 and has been away for a long time. Haven't seen the Vanderbomber in a while. But here he is running in second early on in this consolation race. Oh, Matt Model, Vanderlee, Gwiazdowski, Frank Raffiani, and Braden L. all battling it out front. L is trying to get around Raffiani for the final transfer spot, but they both go down. So Noah Napoli sneaks by, Ricky Hardman, Ricky Williams, Ian Holm also in the mix. So everybody's close together. Braden L just went down. All right, so coming down the hill, Matt Model, number 101, Hemlock, continues to lead. Jeremy Gwiazdowski moves around Jordan Vanderlee for second. And Frank Raffiani on the Spink. 119 runs in the final transfer spot, but Noah Napoli would like to say something about that, as would Ian Holm. Oh, big crash for Noah Napoli. Does a barrel roll there and goes down. And then further back, we have Braden L and Ricky Hardman getting together. And Hardman gets the worst end of that one. He's on the ground on the 313. So Raffiani still holding down the final transfer spot. I feel like Frank Raffiani is like the most New York name I've ever heard in this game. Not sure if he's from New York, but it just sounds like a real thick New York guy. Hey, I'm walking here. Ian Holm is trying to run him down, though. Let's see if Holm can size up a move. Up to the top of the hill they go, so this is 2 laps in the books. 2 more left to go in this consolation race. Ian Holm trying to close the gap on Frank Raffiani. Oh, Raffiani blows the ride and Holm sneaks by. Nice move. And let's see if Raffiani can close that gap down. Oh, he slides it out. Oh, and then he blows the rut there. Oh my goodness, it's coming down. A little bit rough for Frank Raffiani as Ian Holm is slipping away. We got to change for the lead, though. Jeremy Gwiazdowski and Matt Model duking it out right now. Gwiazdowski on that 823 Spink machine. Nice job getting around him. So Model drops back to the 2 spot, but here comes Jordan Vanderlee trying to get down the inside. Can't quite get it done. Oh, but now he does because Model just made a big mistake. And Ian Holm is trying to close it down. Raffiani hoping they all just spontaneously combust ahead of him. And Noah Napoli might take advantage of it as well. Consolation race coming to a close here as the white flag is about to wave. Race leader Jeremy Gwiazdowski. Only 4 go through, 9 in this consolation race, and I think that this is a sign that those entries are starting to drop a little bit. It always happens. It's nothing the fault of Race Factor Gaming or anybody else. It just, at the beginning of series, people are always excited because, yay, outdoors, something new, something different. It's not Supercross. Let's go outdoor racing. Let's do something different. So we end up getting a lot of people racing these consolation races because a lot of people sign up. But usually speaking, as years have gone by, we end up getting about 5-6 rounds into outdoors, GPs or nationals alike, before it goes to just straight into the motos. No consolation races or anything. So Matt Model is about to be passed perhaps by Ian Holm, and the top 4 are gone. Raffiani in 5th right now with a 24-second gap to the race leaders right now is nowhere close. So Ian Holm goes around Matt Model, but I think the 101 Hemlock machine is perfectly happy to let him go. And he'll just settle into that 4th spot, which he's quite comfortable in. Up front, oh, Vanderlee clips the tough block coming onto the start straight. Big one there for the 225, and he's going to drop back to 4th now behind Matt Model, but still big old gap to Frank Raffiani. He could probably crash again and still get up and transfer. So coming down, 1 turn to go in this consolation race, and Jeremy Gwiazdowski on the Spink 823 stamping his ticket to the motos with a win here in the consolation race. Very nicely done by Gwiazdowski. Here's Ian Holm. He's going to bring it home in second, so a good charge through the field for him to get into the 2 spot. Matt Model ends up third. And Jordan Vanderlee, in his apparent return to racing, is headed to the motos, ladies and gentlemen. Almost got the underflip completed. Frank Raffiani coming to the line with Ricky Hardman. There they go. 5-6 over the line. Noah Napoli. Looks like he's going to end up 7th. Ricky Williams out of this one, as is Braden Ells. So Napoli crosses the line. Cuts are in. Only the 215 of Ricky Williams had any cuts whatsoever. So our top 4 confirmed, heading to the motos. And now we are getting set to go for the motos in a Wizdowski. Is that how you say it? Wizdowski. Okay. Thank you. Do I say your name right? Piccione? I always get it wrong. Somebody told me it was Piccioni at one point, but dude, I don't know. I'm a loss. So thank you. Wizdowski. The O is silent, as is the G, I guess. But I take pride in getting names right, because American announcers that are usually covering nationals just do not care about getting names right, so they'd rather just say Antonio Carioli instead of figuring out that his name is Cairoli. So yes. Pitch-own. Okay, thank you. I thought I was saying it right, but every now and then people come on the broadcast and always say, "Oh, you're an idiot. It's pronounced this." But it's from the horse's mouth. It's literally Pitch-own. So I'm taking it for that. Let's visit the crowd a little bit. Let's see who's out here. Who's holding this German flag? Dude with the beer? Dude, someone's stoked about RFGPs back here. Holy smokes, we got dudes floating. Dude, there are legitimately dudes floating out here. Man, that's how I want to watch a race. Could I just like hover like 15 feet above the crowd? That'd be awesome. Look at these people. They're up there, man. They're just floating up there. Man. And then it just ends right here. No more crowd. And more crowd. French flag, American flag, Portuguese flag, the British flag, the RFGP flag. Got the Italian flag, the Canadian flag, another Italian flag, the Greek flag. What was that flag? That's Australia. Portugal again. We got the Netherlands. We got more Italy, France, Ireland, Great Britain, America. There's a Belgian flag over here. Norway. Nice there, Norway. I see Russia off in the distance. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, because there are females that apparently tune in. There was, I looked at my stats the other day, and apparently 10% of my audience is female. Although, and this could be completely wrong. That's probably because someone's logged into like their girlfriend's YouTube account or their mom's YouTube account or something like that. I'm not gonna swear to that being the case. And any females out there that are watching, like, what's up? That's really cool that you're watching video games, because my wife doesn't care at all about this. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, we're about to go racing here. I am not going to talk with the New York accent through the whole stream. My mom was born in Brooklyn, and she's really good. She's got a good, thick New York accent when she wants to. She moved to California pretty young, so she's mostly Californianized at this point. But yeah, I can't. I'm terrible at the thick Brooklyn accent. It always ends up kind of sounding like mob Italian-ish, so I just stay away. I have it's not good either, but I would say I'm a little bit better at the Aussie New Zealand accent, but it ends up going like Aussie New Zealand British gibberish. So none of it's clean. I just don't have a good accent for any of those things. But I can do the SpongeBob, that one really, really old lady that sounds like like she's about to die, where she's like, what did she say? Did somebody say chocolate? And then she goes, I remember my first chocolate. I always hated it. And I think that accent's fairly New Yorker. But I digress. We're about to go MX1 racing here at Saint-Jean-d'Angely in France. Yeah, I remember MXS Central. Good days, good times. Miss John Rollins. He's around every now and then. Yeah, if I definitely want to say that word, PR Talls, per Talls or something. But I will refrain from using that word because it's in poor taste for a channel that prides itself on not using swear words. All right, loading in. MX1 Race 1 coming up. Who is going to win the battle between Jack Haley and Alexis Leclerc on home soil tonight for Alexis Leclerc, no less. And he was super fast. Walter Gebhardt ran a lap time of the gods with Alexis Leclerc, though. And we're going to see these two men, three men, many men go to battle. Portals. I'm sorry. Portals. There's no O. I'm just so confused. All right, Brandon Holmes, Walter Gebhardt, Matt Model, Caleb Hall, Jeremy Cohenauer, Devin Davis, Dylan Copeland, Colton Mitchell, Alexis Leclerc, everybody. Portals. I love you back too, buddy. Straya, mate. We're going to have a cracking good time in this moto, eh? All right, folks. MX1 Race 1 live here on Star Your Systems TV. About to go down in Saint-Jean-d'Angely in France. I can't find who I'm going to pick on the gate, but we're about to find him right now. It's Jack Haley down the inside. Let's go racing. Looks like a Mad Cape rider hit the gate. Leclerc and Haley touch bars, going to the first corner, and Haley's down. Haley's down. I think Leclerc may be down too, or did he get through? I think Leclerc maybe got through. It's James Armstrong with the whole shot, and it does indeed look like Leclerc's in about 5th spot, but Armstrong on the 99 Mad Cape ride comes through with the Racetech.com whole shot away from Adam Holm. Defending champion in a good spot here in second early on. Eduardo Simos moves into 3rd. Oh, but he goes down. And through goes the 34. And there is Leclerc, so he did actually stay up on 2 wheels. He's in about 8th spot. But Haley definitely hit the deck going into that first corner. They touched bars, Leclerc and Haley, halfway down the start straight. And it got dicey going to that first corner. But the battle is on already for the lead as we're already completed with lap number 1 on to lap 2. 5 corners in, the finish line jump already passed. And here comes Adam Holm, almost squeezing down the inside. Just barely couldn't get the pass done on Armstrong. The 99 machine, super fast, but sometimes inconsistency is his detriment. And right now Adam Holm is trying to make a quick move and try to go away with the lead on the number 1 down the inside. Let's see if he can get the drive up the hill. Armstrong just out driving him. Let's see. Nope. Armstrong still holds it on. It's the 34, I believe. That's Deering back there. Armstrong is actually on the 999, Joe Motocross style. But running the number 99. I think that's his GP number. Maybe he just added 19 by mistake. So Holm versus Armstrong for the lead is brewing awfully quickly up here. Outside move for Holm. Armstrong made a big mistake on the inside. That might be the move. Adam Holm to the outside. Jumps into the race lead. Armstrong trying to fight back. Holm takes it over. Adam Holm leads Grand Prix of France, race number 1 in the MXGP class. Deering, Kyle Carpenter, Alexis Leclerc is in 5th. Jeff Cooper getting put off the track. He was in 6th. It's now Simos that moves into the 6th spot. 7. Now Brandon Castellaneta getting jumped on top of by Caden Speck there. Ethan Parks settles in behind. Here's Zach Fisher. James Cohen kind of sliding out of that corner. Here comes Ian Holm. And Castellaneta back there on the 1-2-2 trying to mix in. On the 2-2-1, I should say. I don't know what he's running. He's got the 1-2-2 on the bike, 2-2-1 on the gear. Either way, it was a BPC rider, I think, that just went down. Here's Colton Mitchell trying to make the move. He gets into the back of him and goes down. It was Wilson on the BPC number 69 that hit the deck. And here's Gebhardt, second fastest qualifier on the 5, trying to go around the outside of him. Doesn't quite get it done. We also have Copeland on the 14. Here's Wisdowski right there with Jack Haley. But Haley goes off the track, so that's the first time we saw of Haley. Here's Dylan Long getting mixed in. Nice blue, like, turquoise gear, I guess, this week for Dylan Long. Always running some fresh setups on the 117. Matt Model, Austin Bear, Jake Webb, William St. Laurent, Brandon Holmes, Dennis Fjellberg, Jeremy Cohenauer, Anthony Pachon, Blakely, Eklund, Vandaley, Wisdom, Harris, Rockefeller, LeBeau, Thomas Sunis, Davis. Where's Devin Davis coming from, bro? Bro, he was like way off the bottom of the track there. Andrade, Caleb Hall. That's a quick run through the field just so you know where everybody is before the first couple laps are complete. Let's head back out front and see how it's shaken down. It's still Adam Holm with the race lead. Ash Steering second and Leclerc already in third. Oh boy. This could turn into one of the classic Titanic battles Holm and Leclerc have here. 47.6 already. Leclerc putting down burner lap times. Of course, 43s were what were his qualifying times, matching up with Walter Gebhardt, but 47, some of the lap times that not even people inside of the top 10 were able to put down. And Leclerc and Ash Deering both getting that triple up the hill, very nicely done. Oh, Deering blows the rut. Leclerc inside. That's going to be the move for second. 5 seconds down now of Adam Holm, and 5 minutes in to the moto. So Leclerc tucks that second rut, 4.9. Gap already coming down. Let's just finish off this lap with Leclerc and see how the Frenchman gets it done here on home soil. Trying to steal that points lead back away from Jack Haley after a somewhat rough second moto in Argentina for the number 7. Jumping down the hill. Ooh, a little wayward there through the ruts. Actually seemingly gained time though because of it, so I wonder if Holm made a mistake ahead of him. Look at the gap they've already pulled on everybody else. And Leclerc, interestingly enough, goes inside here. So what's he do? Oh, he doesn't. He doubles and then goes to second rut here. Wow, I don't think I've seen anybody take that line. So that is interesting, and it looks like it cost him time. He's just dropped a couple seconds off of Holm there. But still want to see lap times. Lap time check this time by as they come to the finish line jump. Holm checks in out front, but it's Leclerc over the line with a 47.4, lowers his time again. A 48.4 for Holm out front, though, so he's trying to match that pace, and we'll see how long they can go at that speed. A couple other battles going through the field. Looks like it's kind of close for third and fourth right now. Jeff Cooper back here ahead of Ethan Parks and Eduardo Simos are all kind of tied together. Ian Holm not too far behind that. And here's Jack Haley now coming through in the 11th spot. So championship leader not running red plates, interestingly enough. But he is the championship leader. And I still don't have their helmets. I have no idea why. I definitely downloaded all the Jack Daniels Racing stuff. I think I downloaded it twice. But Haley trying to run his way through the field here. Got a long road ahead of him, but he's got a long moto ahead of him too. Got the 43 of Colton Mitchell tailing him, and the 93 of Ian Holm just ahead of him. So this Haley-Mitchell battle through the field is probably going to be a good one to watch. Oh, actually, Gebhardt is just off the back of these guys. Let's go on board with the 5. Walter Gebhardt here. The 43 of Mitchell is his teammate just ahead of him. And then the number 2 JDR ride of Jack Daniels just in front of that. And then Ian Holm on the 93 at the bottom of the hill. Almost contact there between Mitchell and Haley. And somehow Gebhardt snuck around the outside of his teammate to make that move. And now he's going to go down the inside of Haley. Does he put him on the ground? No, Haley cuts back across. And Mitchell has to settle in behind everybody. So Gebhardt just made 2 really quick passes, and he's looking for a third here on Ian Holm. Oh, but he goes off the track. Oh my gosh, all the way down to the bottom of the hill. Has to pop back up through and get back on the track. Just as quickly as he made all those passes, he loses them right back. And Haley's trying to swing around and cut back underneath of the 93 of Holm. Let's see if he gets it. Around the outside, he does. Mitchell gonna get this spot too? Man, Ian Holm, a little sluggish down the inside and doesn't double down the hill. Oh, Mitchell down. A lot of little sideways, and there goes Gebhardt. Here comes, I think that's Castellaneta on the 122. And Copeland coming down the hill as well. So it was Castellaneta going through. Here's Gebhardt trying to launch over Ian Holm, and he does, and triples up the hill again. I thought we'd see these 450 guys do that triple consistently, and it seems like it's ringing home true. Here's Jack Haley starting to put some pressure on Eduardo Simos. Simos on that 36 GSR LCQ Studios TM, actually. Good to see TMs out here still grinding. TMFactoryRacing.com, great place if you want to check them out. They've got basically every track ever in MX Simulator. Oh, Haley! Haley goes down. Gebhardt goes by. Ian Holm goes back by. And Mitchell is just going to get there. He's probably going to get him. He's going to drive down the hill. Nope, Haley holds the spot. So they go back to work. Peek back out front. See, it's still Adam Holm creeping up on the 10-minute mark. Got a report that Alexis Leclerc went down. Thank you, Joel Rayberg in chat. But it does look like Leclerc has definitely lost time. Whether or not he went down, I would assume he did because we got that report. So he's down about 9 seconds behind Holm, it seems, at this point. Over the finish line jump he comes. Tucks that inside rut. 8.1 is the gap currently. Caden Speck holding down a strong P3 right now on the Nova GFX ride. For some reason, I don't have Nova GFX's bikes. I had the same problem with, I think it was Trevor Burns, I think, in the MX2 division. Don't have his bike. Not sure. Maybe they did a dyno update. I tried to get everything. People send me skins on Discord all day long. That's why I leave Discord open all day on Mondays and Wednesdays, even though I'm working. I just, yep, thanks for the skins. Download it, wait for it, pop it in the folder. So Speck holding down third. Kyle Carpenter putting in a good ride on the 708 Tiger Designs ride right now. Dropping down the hill in the center. James Armstrong, whole shot back to fifth right now. Mad Cape number 99. Sixth for Ash Deering. And Gebhardt charged all the way up to seventh now. Man on a mission right now, and he's bringing Jack Haley with him. So this is a really fun battle to watch back here. Looks like Colton Mitchell's lost a spot, or maybe Jeff Cooper is losing some spots back to Colton Mitchell, but Mitchell not right behind Haley anymore, but not. That just changed because now Cooper flips off the track, and Mitchell takes advantage of it to go up into ninth. Haley's eighth, Gebhardt is seventh, 53 flat, 56.6. 48.9. Colton Mitchell was actually faster than those guys, but he was right behind Haley, and then I must have gone down because he's not right behind him anymore. So maybe this lap is going to be a little bit different. We'll do a lap time check with these guys because they're having to work through lap traffic, or through traffic, I should say, right now. See what Gebhardt does in these last couple sectors. .44.8 Walter Gebhardt, look at him go. 46.9 Jack Haley. and a 48.5 Mitchell. So these guys are flying. Gebhardt putting in the best lap of the race right there, as he's in 7th and rapidly closing on 6th right now. So we'll stay on board with him here for just a minute to see whether or not he can run down the man ahead of him. I think it is Ash Deering on the number 34 BPC Husqvarna. There's Armstrong down, so that's a position. Whoa, what a move. Gebhardt sending it down the inside there. Not sure what the intention was there. Maybe he got a little out of shape, but that was a big send from deep. So not sure exactly how that all panned out. Got a report that we have a change to the lead, and we do. Alexis Leclerc leading his home Grand Prix. Lap traffic going down behind these guys. Wonder if they were a factor, because now Holm has drifted back to 2nd. And Leclerc back to the front. 13 minutes in, 17 minutes, 2 laps to go. And Leclerc, the rider out of Picardy, France, leading his home Grand Prix and trying to steal the red plate back away from Jack Haley in the process. Still a lot of racing left in this moto, and on the day, of course, we still have that second moto to get through. Right now, smooth sailing for Leclerc. He's probably feeling pretty happy about what's going on out front. Adam Holm back here in 2nd. Definitely must have had something happen, because that lap time was a 56.7, so not sure if he got together lappers. Maybe he fell on his own. Lost some time to Leclerc, though, and lost it quick. Still Spec, and now Gebhardt has moved up into 4th. They're trying to lap Jordan Vandely. Gebhardt, big moment. Here's Haley inside on Gebhardt. Doesn't do it, though. Just goes to the inside rut. Gebhardt settles in. Lap time check, 48.6, 46.4. Jack Haley putting down some burner lap times. Rider down. That is Caden Speck, so they're going 3rd and 4th now. Man, these guys are just freight training to the front. Speck gets up right behind Haley. Ash Deering, Kyle Carpenter. So we lost Colton Mitchell in that process. But it is Haley and Gebhardt charging to the front together. They have been running nose to tail for the last 5 or so laps and trying to push each other forward. Even though they're not on the same team, sometimes it's a good idea when you got 2 fast guys together deep in the field to kind of work together. Don't try to make egregious passes on each other. Just push each other forward, get in a train, get in a groove, and by the time you want to have a battle late in the race, you both are further up towards the front. That's exactly how it's worked for them thus far. They're 3rd and 4th now, and just about to hit the halfway point of the moto as they continue their battle for 3rd. Caden Speck, little wayward back in the background there, goes off the side of the track. And Haley just trying to keep tabs on Gebhardt ahead of him. It was an easy sailing last week for Jack Haley. Got an early lead in Argentina in the first moto and just checked out. And then the second moto put in a good ride to win the overall. This time around, has to work for it, though. So 7-second lead for Leclerc out front, so all eyes on this battle right now. They are about, I think, 18 seconds behind Adam Holm right now, as they are continuing to battle it out. Oh, something just happened. Where in the world did Gebhardt went down on the face of that uphill there. I didn't even see him. Blind jump, and gets passed by a host of riders, including Deering, Carpenter, and Speck, all getting back through. So Haley now finds himself alone in 3rd with a long climb ahead of him to get up to Adam Holm, potentially. Trying to avoid some lap traffic there, swinging wide. Anthony Pachon picks up a spot on the 79 machine. Well, he's on the 127, but he picked up a spot on the number 79. I think that's Jack Gatt. Or no, Dylan Gatlin. Could be wrong. All right, let's do a top 20 rundown real quick, because everything's a little bit stifled in the top 5. We're 16 and a half minutes into race 1 here in the 450 class in France. And this top 10 rundown is brought to you by the fine folks at Racetech Suspension, racetech.com. Head over there today, get yourself some gold valves, get yourself a suspension rebuild. They also do some motor work, so you also want to check out some of the cool work they do there if you want to get your motor rebuilt, some engine work done, or you just want to get your suspension serviced. They can also do that for you as well. Head over to racetech.com and check out all the cool things they have there. And they're bringing you this top 20 rundown right now in France. It is Alexis Leclerc leading his home Grand Prix on the Rockstar Husky number 7. Brings it down to the finish line jump on to lap number 11. 17 minutes down, 13 to go. And he holds the lead over Adam Holm, the atom.com defending champion number 1, trying to keep tabs with his longtime rival Leclerc here, but losing touch ever so slightly lap after lap. Here's third, Jack Haley, championship leader currently, but after this moto he won't be, on the JDR number 2, 2019 Supercross champion, holding down third, and he's worked to get to that spot, so nicely done for him. Here's Caden Speck, who I believe is on the number 19 Nova GFX machine, and he's got Walter Gebhardt right behind him, so this is actually a battle. We'll stick on here for just a quick second. We'll put this top 20 rundown on pause to see if Gebhardt can make the move on Speck. Trying to go inside, just can't quite get there. Does he still go for the uphill triple? No, he has to settle for the double, but Speck almost gets into the back of a rider right there, and Gebhardt pulls right alongside, almost contact. Gebhardt down the inside, makes the block pass happen, and there is fourth for Walter Gebhardt on the Panini Motorsports number 5. So Speck drops back to 5th. Kyle Carpenter holding on to 6th right now. Tagger Designs number 708, great ride for him. Oh, Ash Deering and Colton Mitchell are both down at the bottom of the hill. Who gets up first? It's Deering ahead of Mitchell. Deering right now holding on to the 7th spot. Colton Mitchell trying to get it back. The BPC number 34 of Deering over the 43 Panini Motorsports ride of Colton Mitchell. That is 8th right now. 9th for James Armstrong on the number 99 Mad Cape ride. He got the whole shot in this one. And 10th right now goes to Chase Blakely on the BPC number 21. 11th, Austin Eklund, Odyssey MX number 24. 12th, Braden Castellaneta, Nova GFX. I also love Tomac number 1 on the number 122 machine, runs 12th. 13th, my teammate, look at him go, Ethan Parks on the SYS FamMX Racing machine, the number 96, holding it down in P13. Love to see some point scoring out of my boys. Jeff Cooper, Hemlock, number 32, holds down 14th, and he's just ahead of Dennis Fjellberg on the MV Films number 55, who is running in 15th. 16th, Dylan Copeland, Tagger Designs Factory Racing, number 14. 17th goes to Eduardo Simmons on the GSR LCQ Studios TM. And 18th right now, Ian Holm on the Whip Style, number 93. 19th for Robert Wilson on the BPC number 69. Nice. And 20th, William St. Laurent on the Mad Cape 886, just in front of Kyler Hockey on the number 25 MXS Magazine machine. That's the top 20 rundown, and is brought to you by Racetech.com. Lexus Leclerc still leads. Heard Adam Holm went down and Haley lost third. That's the truth. Adam Holm was down. Haley has dropped back to 4th. Walter Gebhardt has moved up into the 3 spot. He's trying to get around Dylan Long, who's going a lap down here. See if the 117 moves aside. And he does. So Haley has to... Whoa, camera work. Haley has to go back to work. Here on the number 2 Jack Daniels Racing machine. Try to get Walter Gebhardt. Gebhardt now suddenly has a very real shot of getting Adam Holm for second here. Be a big shot in the arm for Gebhardt, but it would be our top 2 qualifiers going 1-2. So maybe that's setting the stage for a wild finish to this one in the second moto. Here is Gebhardt a little further back than Haley, and Speck still holding on to P5. No battles going on right now, though. Nobody seems like they're close inside of the top 10. Everybody just kind of spread apart. So let's pick somebody to watch here. Let's see a lap with Gebhardt. 21 minutes in, 45.5. He just continues to put down these low 40s. Again, remember, qualifying-wise, there's only 2 people in the sub 45 range. It was Gebhardt and Leclerc, and they were actually both in the 43s. Then it was Jack Haley, third fastest qualifier, with a 45, I think it was a 45.3 if I remember correctly. So Gebhardt and Leclerc both flying around this French track, putting in some ridiculous lap times, and it may just well result in 1-2 finishes today. At least it may result in 1-2 finishes in this moto as Gebhardt continues to try to chip away the time, but he goes down. Overjump, case, whatever you want to call it, just didn't get enough time to land before the race tech table, so he has to spin it around. Nice little flick job there to get it turned around. Does he still clear it? Wow, that was actually kind of impressive. He came from like a dead stop and still almost got that jump. Not going to lose a spot to Caden Speck, but Jack Haley does go through into third again. So another change of positions there, and that helps Haley's case in this championship because he was 2 points up on Leclerc. As he runs right now, he is 3 down of Leclerc in the championship, but still a second motor to run, and things could always sway in that one. But 36 off of the lead right now for Haley. Definitely needs a good rebound start, really, in the second moto to challenge the likes of Leclerc and Gebhardt if they get good starts as well. So Gebhardt, after his fall, goes back to work. We'll continue staying on board with him here. Creeping up on the 23-minute mark. Looks like he's catching Haley quite quickly here. Trying to jump down the inside. 55.3 even with a fall. I mean, I can't run a 55.3 on my best days. And he's doing it with a fall. Trying to keep things close. Man, he got so much pop on that. Almost quadded up the hill, it seemed like. Swinging outside here. Haley doing a really good job here of just basically matching the pace, though. Not really paying too much attention to what's going on behind him. Not focusing on Gebhardt. All the while, Gebhardt, oh, long again. Gosh, man, he goes so deep on some of these jumps. Any second now could be a fall off. But he also could catch Haley and pass him in no time as well. So much speed carried through here. James Cohen on the 479 doing a lovely job of moving out of the way. Inside for Gebhardt, tucks the front wheel, and that's going to cost him some time. Got a request for an onboard lap with Leclerc, so as he comes down to the finish line this time by, let's do it. 47.8 last time by. He's not quite running the same times as Gebhardt, but the battles are pretty stifled throughout the field, so I want to kind of see where Alexis Leclerc and Walter Gebhardt are gaining time compared to other people, although Leclerc almost went over the bars right there. That was a close one. Going far inside of all the braking bumps and buries it in that corner. Middle rut here. Outside rut here. It's getting kind of chopped out, but he looks like he's actually losing some time. Little flick scrub into the race tech double. Dropping back down the hill again. And just carrying a ton of speed to the very bottom. Swinging around the outside of some lap traffic there, and back up the hill he goes. 30-second lead on home soil. I mean, does it get any better? Leclerc just stunned on him, making it look too easy with the race lead, honestly. He's kind of weaving through lap traffic, making little games out of it, whatever it takes. Keep your focus on. I've always been impressed with Leclerc's drive out of corners. Like he lugs the bike really hard, and you would think it doesn't work, but I think just the way his suspension is, that like lug ability of the bike where it kind of digs in a little bit harder, just makes it so much better for getting traction out of corners. Second rut there, drops back down the hill, just taking different lines than everybody else, quite honestly. He's just doing different stuff. Coming to the finish line here, gonna miss that inside rut, but goes to the second rut, getting around some more lap traffic. 49.2, so not quite the best lap, but that onboard lap with Leclerc, still quite incredible. Gebhardt, Haley coming down. They got a huge gap on Deering, who's now moved into the 5 spot. Speck has dropped back to 6. Kyle Carpenter is trying to charge through and slot his way into 7th. Here's Armstrong in 8th. Eklund has moved up to 9th, and Colton Mitchell is in 10th, but Colton Mitchell, I think, is lapped or about to, oh my gosh, what just happened there? Colton Mitchell just, who did he just take out? Who was that? They're, I guess, multiple laps down? I don't even know who that was. It was a Honda. And there, was it Pachon? I guess it must have been, because it's the only Honda that's even over there right now. Wonder if Mitchell was a little bit mad about something. Or maybe it was Braden Castellaneta and Cole Mitchell was bad. I have no idea what just happened. Fjellberg got around Mitchell in the process there. Kind of rifling through the field here. Oh, Haley went down at the far end of the circuit, but he's so far ahead of Deering, 40 seconds. And like I said, Leclerc is lapping well up the order at this point. Oh, lapper. Fernando Andrade. Steady. Uh-oh, battle for seconds on. Gebhardt's caught Adam Holm, I should say. So what is going to happen here? Can Gebhardt gain a couple more points? Or is Adam Holm going to keep him at bay? atom.com. Oh, man. What a time for Kohenauer to fall in the rut Holm was going into. As Gebhardt makes an easy pass in the end for second. And then has an immediate fall-off crash. What was that? Clipped a top block and went down. That was really weird. It didn't even look like he hit anything. He just went off the track and fell off the bike, but I think it was the tough block that sent him down. So now Jack Haley sees an opportunity in front of him and is going to try to take advantage of that. My, oh my, that was peculiar, to say the least. That crash, I don't think I've seen something like that in a long time, where it looked like he just hit nothing and fell. But, I mean, that happens sometimes, and now it's definitely created a battle here for the 3 spot, because Haley is right on the back door of Walter Gebhardt for 3rd, and they're still just amidst so much lap traffic, and Gebhardt gets into the back of... Is that Kohenauer again? I'm trying to find Gebhardt. I think that is Kohenauer. Let's wait at the bottom of the hill here as Haley comes down. Who's this Honda? Ah, well, they just went down again. Yeah, that's Kohenauer, 15. So Kohenauer went down in front of Holm, cost him a spot, and there goes he and Gebhardt up the hill together. So, oh man, not a good time there for the race host Jeremy Kohenauer getting tied up with the leaders. But it happens again, as I said. What has Leclerc lapped up to? He's lapped Armstrong, so he's lapped 8th spot, and Armstrong just had a huge one trying to go for the uphill triple. So Austin Eckland's going to say thank you very much, and Chase Blakely's going to say thank you very much, and Dennis Fjellberg is going to say nothing because he's not going to get there. Armstrong just getting back on the track ahead of him. Like Caden Speck has Kyle Carpenter still right behind him, and actually K-Carp has Leclerc about to lap him, and Carpenter's 7th right now. This is nuts. The 250 guys didn't even lap into points in the second moto. Leclerc's about to lap into 7th right now. And Speck and Carpenter both swinging wide and very politely letting Leclerc go through. I mean, Carpenter, I've seen it before, very well could have just taken advantage of Speck there and made the pass. But what a good dude. Like, just settles in behind him, lets the leader go, and then continue the battle. Like, good on him, because all too often I see dudes making passes while the leaders are trying to go through, and oftentimes it creates a problem for the leaders. So it's always just so stupid to me how often lappers do that. But Carpenter, what a gentleman thing to do. Speck also pulled off to the side. So Deering, who's in 5th, is the last man on the lead lap, and it's not out of the question Leclerc could still lap him, because Leclerc is coming to the 2-lap board this time by, not the white flag, because he didn't clip the timer last time by. So there you go, 2-lap board out for Leclerc. Still has 2 laps to somehow run down top 5 and get some really good points out of this one against his championship rivals. Battle for second on again, Haley and Gebhardt. So we've lost Holm out of 2nd. Oh, and Gebhardt stacks it. Almost went down, but a nice save. Seems like nobody wants the 2nd spot. They're all just continuing to battle with each other. They're almost a minute now behind Leclerc. 46 seconds out the lead for Haley, but this is actually good for Haley at this point, because he's minimizing the damage. Leclerc will only have a 1-point lead going into the second moto in the championship. Not sure. Again, Gebhardt crashed right there again. So Holm goes back by. What is happening? What in the Ghostbusters is going on out here, dude? Walter Gebhardt off the bike again in the same spot. He must have hit the same tough block and gone down. So Deering, basically everybody in the top 5 is all alone. I mean, Holm is kind of close to Haley. Gebhardt is kind of close to Holm. May still have a chance to get him with 2 laps to go. We'll have to see. The big question mark is, does Deering get lapped? And he's 2 corners ahead of Leclerc, but he's got lap traffic everywhere. And this is, oh my goodness, so close. So only the top 5 are still on the lead lap right now. And this is a long track, folks. Like, this is, and everybody's doing a lot of the same lap times and everything like that. So it's kind of crazy that this is the situation we're in right now. Basically a 2 straightaway gap until the top 4 are the only people on the lead lap. But white flag about to come out for Leclerc. Deering just trying to keep Leclerc behind him, because then he's guaranteed 5th. He doesn't matter how many times he crashes on the last lap. So Deering hopping down the hill. Gebhardt catching Adam Holm, and Haley's down! Jack Haley down by the start straight, so he gets back up right behind this battle. Holm goes back through to 2nd, and Gebhardt now back into 3rd, and Haley back down to 4th. These guys just cannot figure it out, man. This is insane how close these guys all are. Up the hill we go. White flag is about to wait for these guys, and this battle for 2nd is on right now. Adam Holm, Walter Gebhardt, Jack Haley. Who's going to take this 2nd spot home? This is anybody's race right here. Leclerc, foregone conclusion, he's going to win this race. Oh, Holm is not going to get the triple, and Gebhardt does. Holm tries to defend, gets into Gebhardt. Oh, they're still both up. Gebhardt's going to send down the inside here. Holm has nothing he can do other than watch him go, and Gebhardt takes over 2nd spot. So what does Holm have for a retaliatory effort? Does he get something done to move back into 2nd? Leclerc coming down onto the start straight right now, so we'll go back to him for the finish here in just a minute. Gebhardt has gapped Holm a little bit. Haley's trying to get in there, but got to watch out. Simos on the 36. Haley trying to get 3rd. That would be huge points-wise for him, but Adam Holm is watching championship points slip away here. As meanwhile, up front, coming into the final corner, home Grand Prix and a home victory in race 1 belongs to Alexis Leclerc with a big win in France. Now back to this battle. Holm and Haley trying to dispute it, and may still have a shot at Gebhardt if Gebhardt makes a mistake. The number 1 and 2 on their plates. Jeff Cooper. Oh, man. These guys just trying to move out of the way. Look at this battle. Haley's going to swing wide to get the drive. He almost gets into the back of Holm. Holm swings inside to defend. Haley swings outside to try to get the drive. Who's going to work better? Haley's got a good line around the outside, and he may just well make the pass. Holm has to defend. Haley down the inside gets it done. Here comes Holm back, tucking to the inside. He's not going to get there. So to the line, it looks like it will be Gebhardt 2nd. Look at Holm to the outside. Oh, he almost got it done. Haley crosses the line in 3rd, and Holm comes across in 4th. 2/10 in it. What a battle to the line. Clean racing, no takeouts. Brilliant stuff for both riders, and that one could come down to cuts. So Deering is the last man on the lead lap right now. Terrific ride for the 34 BPC ride, because nobody else could manage that. Kyle Carpenter ends up 6th. Good ride for him. Chase Blakely, Dennis Fjellberg, Austin Eklund, and Caden Speck inside of the top 10. James Armstrong was 11th, 12th for Copeland, 13th was Cooper, 14th for Simos, 15th for Ethan Parks, 16th goes to Cohenauer, 17th for Castellaneta, 18th, James Cohen. How about some points here for the 479? 19th, Robert Wilson, and 20th, Ian Holm. Oh, look at this. Kyler Hockey going for the last point in the moto. Oh, he's jumping to the inside. He gets the run on the inside. It's a drag race. Oh, Ian Holm gets him back. Oh, but no, Hockey got it. Hockey got it because Robert Wilson drops out of points. Robert Wilson ends up in 21st. So they both end up scoring points. Ian Holm gets him. Oh, man, that was crazy. Let's see if it changed up front. Nope. Haley with that 2/10 gap gets it on Adam Holm to finish third. He is now 3 points behind Leclerc in the World Championship. Wow. That was kind of crazy. Well then, we now have a 5-minute break incoming in between motos. So again, this is the time where if you guys have any questions or anything you want to ask me, be sure to do so now and I'd be happy to answer them. Haley's just ripping around the track right now. Whew. People complaining in chat never gets old in MX Simulator. It's always fun to watch just endless complaining. Let's see. What is your thoughts on Tomac career overall? So, mentioned in my video today, I think the Supercross title puts Tomac into a list of all-time greats, but I still think he's behind certain people on the all-time. Like, he's tied with Dungey on wins, but he's 3 titles behind him in Supercross. He's tied with Dungey for outdoor titles, but he's not even close to him in outdoor wins. So, I think you can't have Dungey behind Tomac. And then I think Villapoto was better than Dunge, and I think Stu was better than RV, and I think MC and RC were better than Stu. So, if we're looking at a list, I guess if we're kind of organizing this, Eli's falling somewhere in the 6 to 8 or 9 all-time list at this point for me. Maybe even further back if you add in guys like Bob Hanna. In my opinion, still deserves to be on that list up front. This is American racing only. I'm not talking about GPs, but he's an all-time great. I struggle to put him ahead of like Dunge and RV and those guys just yet. We'll see if he gets there, if he starts winning, if he wins a 4th outdoor title and a 2nd Supercross title and he gets to 30 some odd outdoor wins. I don't think he'll pass Dungey, but he'll pass Dungey in Supercross. Then yes, I think maybe we can say he's past Dungey, but right now I still think he's mixed in that group, but he's not ahead of a lot of those people in my opinion. Let's see. Point standing rundown. All I know right now for a fact is that there's only 3 points between Leclerc and Haley. How do you think Chase Sexton will do this upcoming outdoor season, says Jace Rife. I think he's going to surprise people, honestly. I don't think he's going to contend for a title. He might contend for a moto win if the stars align, but I think that like people are expecting him to be like 6th, 7th or so. I think he's going to battle for like podiums on occasion and be really fast in qualifying, similar to Cian Cirillo this year. But dude, the kid's talented, and I think he's built for a 450. So, yeah. Yes, Kyler Hockey, I did like that. That was very close. Hunter, I swear I've downloaded every JDR thing I can. I'll go and re-download everything, I guess, but I'm sorry, I don't know why I don't have the helmets. What about Chad Reed? Yeah, Chad Reed, amazing career. I'm going to put out a video at some point. Excuse me. Some point soon. Oh, sweet. Anyway, so gonna put out a video sometime soon where I just basically talk for 20-30 minutes highlighting the different things about Chad Reed's career. I mean, for me, Chad was a legend. Like he was so much of my upbringing with motocross and supercross. Like, he turned pro in 2000, well, technically 99, but, you know, started racing pro GPs and stuff like that in 2000, 2001. And, you know, the time that he's been pro has been when I was 7 until I'm 27. So he's so much of my life. It's so weird to see him go away and not be there anymore. Yeah, I mean, incredible career. I think he didn't deserve the hate he got at the end of his career for sticking around the sport, because for the most part, he never took up a spot. Like, yeah, he had a couple of years on Yamaha there, but JGR needed somebody and he fulfilled that spot. He got him a podium. And then, you know, this year and in 2018, he didn't take up a spot. He made his own team. So, you know, I think that it's incredible that he was still 37, 38 years old, qualifying for main events, doing really well and all that stuff like that. So, in my opinion, legend. Do I think Roczen will ever win a Supercross title? In my opinion, I think that this was his best chance, and I think he's not going to win one. And that sucks, because I think he's probably going to be... He only needs 5 more Supercross wins, and if he wins 5 Supercross races and does not win a title, he will be the winningest Supercross rider in the sport's history without a title. He will pass Damon Bradshaw. He's on 15 wins. Bradshaw had 19. He would pass Damon Bradshaw for that record. So that sucks, because I think Kenny probably should have a title or two. Like, he's been close. He's had the red plate a ton. He's won so many races. But I just think that this injury took too much out of him and too much out of his career, that he's just going to win races but never get this title at this point, unfortunately. Hopefully I'm wrong, but we'll see. Who do I believe is Tomac's biggest challenge this outdoor season? Man. I mean, Webb just was so unimpressive outdoors last year that I feel like I can't pick him. So I feel like it lies somewhere in, like, a mix of Roczen. Maybe, like, Osborne gets in there and starts challenging as well, and maybe Webb steps up to the plate. But Tomac, I think, is going to be pretty lights out in outdoors. We'll see, though. Night in Vegas Part 2 is coming soon. I'm still in the works with it. Trying my hardest to get it out, but got 87 other things I got to do. The Salt Lake City 7 definitely stifled any time I had for that documentary project. Josh Greco ranks first all-time in the best mustaches in Supercross history, and he ranks 87th all-time in Supercross 2020. I have no idea. Somewhere in there. Can you pick between Sim or Reflex, or what do you think is better? God, that's such a hard question. Reflex for console, Sim for PC. All right, let's go racing. MXGP Race 2 in France. Who's going to get the start and who's going to win the overall today in St. Jean d'Angely? We find out right now. Oh, Fjellberg almost got to the corner first. I think it was the 153 of Caleb Hall. Or is that the 53 of Caleb Hall who picks up the Race Tech hole shot? But Fjellberg immediately hops to the outside and into the race lead. So one of Europe's most successful riders of all time, Caden Speck, was second. He goes down, and Leclerc and Holm battling it out for second already. So this is the start Leclerc was hoping for. And he's already up into second, so it might not be long before Leclerc moves up and starts fighting this thing out for the race lead, and maybe even just goes on and checks out with a 1-1. If the first moto is any indication, these guys have a long uphill battle to try to dethrone Leclerc in this one tonight. But we'll see. So Fjellberg leads, Leclerc second, Holm third. Norway, France, USA, top 3 right now. And Fjellberg keeping Leclerc at bay. These are 2 of the most successful European riders in MX Simulator history, battling for the lead. And just like that, Leclerc hops down the hill a little bit further, down the inside, and makes the move on Fjellberg to move into the race lead. Fjellberg settles into second. Now Adam Holm, if he wants to keep tabs on Leclerc, he's got to go now. He's got to get Fjellberg immediately here. And Fjellberg, a little mistake. Holm might try to take advantage of that. He's right on him. Can he get this move done? Inside. Just showing him a wheel, but just can't quite get there. Ever so slightly. Leclerc already inching away at the front. Holm has got to get Fjellberg quickly. He's got to do it now. Shows him a wheel, but doesn't get it, and that is going to be a huge problem for Holm here because he is losing so much time by not making this pass on Fjellberg fast enough. I know early in the race I always say patience is a virtue. However, in this situation, when literally the championship leader is already out front and pulling away immediately, sometimes desperation moves are needed. And to back out of the challenge there, that is causing him so much time. Inside here, is it going to work? Not quite. Fjellberg holds steady. Already almost a 4-second lead for Leclerc. Fjellberg mistake. Holm going to take advantage. Oh, Fjellberg's fighting back and fighting back valiantly. Oh my goodness, Holm again tries just an overzealous move that doesn't, he's just got to size something up a little bit differently. Look at the lead Leclerc's already pulling though. He's not even on picture anymore. Just gone. Fjellberg holding Holm at bay. And again, Fjellberg's no slouch, so I'm not saying this is, you know, holding up Holm aggressively or anything like that, but I think Holm thought he had a chance at Leclerc in this race, and it is very quickly becoming a zero chance because he's not close enough anymore. Look at Leclerc. He's already over the wall. Leclerc just pulling a huge lead already. So let's see if Holm can get close again on the start straight. Well, Fjellberg just made a mistake. Again, this might be the opportunity here. Down the inside, just runs him wide. That's what was needed a lap ago. And finally has it done, but not before Leclerc opens up a 5.4 second lead. 47.4 last time through. Let's see if he runs this time by. We're a couple corners from the finish line now. As he drops down the hill. Scrubbing that double back up the hill there. And scrub up to the top here. Over the finish line jump, 48 flat. Fjellberg got back around Holm. Oh, Holm gets him right back though, and a 51.4. So 3 seconds that last lap alone. How about Colton Mitchell with a good start though? This is exciting to see for the 43 Panini Motorsports ride. So let's see what he's able to do, as he is already on the back of Fjellberg and Holm for this little 3-rider freight train for second. Mitchell trying to size something up. Trying to push Fjellberg either into a mistake or maybe just get close enough that he can make a move down the inside. So not sure what happened with Holm and Fjellberg that allowed the 55 to get back through, but he was momentarily ahead of the number 1. And then Holm passed him back right before the finish line jump and is now opening up a bit of a gap on him, and it's really this battle for third. Double into the wall. Mitchell going a little high though, so not going to get the same drive that Fjellberg did off the wall. Trying to peek inside here. Oh man, look at this move, Mitchell. Nicely done down the inside. Fjellberg tries to square off. Almost got him back. Really good strategic riding there for Fjellberg to kind of just let Mitchell go in deep and already square him off and try to get the drive up and next to him up the hill, but he doesn't get it back. So Mitchell moves into third. We got Chase Blakely back here in 5th. Kyle Carpenter, another good start. He's in 6th right now. Devin Davis, turnaround moto. He's in 7th early on. We got Caden Speck in 8th. Kyler Hockey runs in P9. Robert Wilson was 10th, but he just went down, so Jeff Cooper is going to go on by. And here is Caleb Hall going into 11th. Castellaneta going in at 12th. Austin Bear 13th. 14th Dylan Copeland. 15th Robert Wilson. Now 16th for Jack Haley. So here's the first sign of Haley we're seeing. And he's got a long battle ahead of him. Almost gets into Robert Wilson there. So Haley trying to pick up the pace and go through the field, but With Leclerc out front, it is just complete salvage mode here for Haley. He's just got to try to get as many possible points as he can and just hope that either something happens up front, or if Leclerc stays with the lead, that things get wild and Haley can somehow get to second or third in this one. Entered with a 2-point advantage to the Grand Prix of France ahead of Leclerc. After that first moto with a third, he ends up 3 points back of Leclerc, but now it's just a cliff of points if he isn't able to climb through the field. And down goes Dylan Copeland. So Austin Bear on the 37 goes through. James Armstrong, Austin Eckland, Ian Holm, and here's Walter Gebhardt. And I believe this is outside of the points right now for the number 5. He's in 19th actually, so he's getting into the points. Scrubbing underneath Ian Holm, and Ian Holm goes down. And then also going down was Dylan Copeland again. Things getting kind of sorted out through the order. Here's Haley going through the field. Castellaneta and Caleb Hall battling with each other as Haley now goes ahead of them. Robert Wilson right behind them. Oh, a crash there. Castellaneta goes down. So over top of him goes Austin Bear. And he's trying to get going just as... Oh, that was close there between him and Austin Eckland. So Haley continues his march forward. Next up, Jeff Cooper, Caden Speck, Kyler Hockey. In a bit of a freight train. Caden Speck shooting down the inside and pushing Kyler Hockey out. So Hockey might lose another spot to Jeff Cooper. So Hockey trying to fight back on him. Caden Speck. Devin Davis. Kyle Carpenter. Chase Blakely. Dennis Fjellberg, Colton Mitchell, Adam Holm, Alexis Leclerc continuing to lead at the front of the MXSGP of France. And really just putting so much time on the field right now. So Leclerc has a sizable gap on Adam Holm. Dennis Fjellberg still runs third, but things are starting to tighten up. Chase Blakely catching him. And Blakely trying to put some pressure on the number 55. This is 63 here trying to put some pressure on Chase Blakely. He's a lap down, whoever it is. And both those guys are a lap down battling with each other back there. So Colton Mitchell's mixed in here. Kyle Carpenter, Caden Speck, Kyler Hockey, Devin Davis, Jeff Cooper, Jack Haley off the back of this group. Devin Davis and Kyler Hockey may be the closest battle on the track right now. Definitely looks like they're about set to do a little bit of battling between each other. Number 25 of Hockey and the 33 of Davis, but Davis scoots around the outside to make that quick and painless, but then Hockey gets him back because Davis blew the corner. Davis trying to fight up the hill here. Around the outside. Kyler Hockey gets that inside rut really cleanly, though. And now he's scrubbing this double hard. He's trying to get away from Davis, but Davis not letting him go. And going to try to triple up to the outside of the hill. Lands off the track a little bit. Going to use his far outside line. And Hockey uses the more inside lines to his advantage. Davis, good drive up the hill here. Is this going to be the move on the inside? Oh, Hockey's still fighting back, but Davis finally gets that done. Caden Speck up here. Oh, Colton Mitchell. Getting hung up with some lap traffic there, so Caden Speck goes around him. And Kyle Carpenter just up the road from these guys. So it's all pretty tight together here, barring our lead group, as Blakely did eventually get around Fjellberg for third. Oh, Adam Holm down. Adam Holm is down before the mechanics area. That's going to allow Blakely to close up a little bit closer here for second. And Leclerc, again, gone at the front of the field. He is so far out front. Really the only, caveat that would have stopped him tonight probably would have been a good start from Walter Gebhardt. But Gebhardt, no luck tonight on the starts. So Holmes still is in second, but suddenly Blakely right on him here. 1 second down. They're 26 seconds off the lead from Leclerc. We're not even halfway through this race yet. And Leclerc has already got a half a minute lead on the field. Dropping down here. Blakely just trying to keep things close to home, maybe force him into an error. That's what a lot of these guys tend to do. But Holm doing what he can to respond to that pressure and get back away. Oh, Blakely, oh man, front wheel tuck. And then case the double coming down the hill. So Holm able to reestablish his gap a little bit. And now Fjellberg back here has Caden Speck and Colton Mitchell closing on him. That would be for fourth if all these guys can kind of freight train through. Jack Haley about 15 seconds behind this battle in eighth right now. Gebhardt in ninth behind him, 5 seconds back of him. So here's Mitchell putting the pressure on Speck, and Speck's trying to close it up onto Fjellberg here. And lap traffic galore a little bit. Eduardo Simos on the 36 trying to get out of the way. We got another lapper getting up in the background. Speck all over Fjellberg. Mitchell might take advantage of them though and just squeak on by. 3 riders going for the same line here and for the same position, obviously. They want that 4th spot. Fjellberg has it. Speck and Mitchell want it. All of them trying to triple up the hill. Speck with the case. Mitchell going a little bit long. Tries to tuck far inside. Gets into him and goes down. Oh, no. Colton Mitchell. Legs off. Crash again. So Speck now trying to get around Fjellberg. And this would be for the 4th spot. Caden Speck has had a really good day here. Kind of an unnoticed good day. And Fjellberg, ooh, big scrub. Speck trying to go middle rut. Nobody is taking that line, and somehow Speck still made it work to his liking. Trying to get a good drive around the outside. Outside move. Oh my gosh. And he's going to get it done. What a move by Caden Speck. Fjellberg unsuspecting to it. Oh, and then he immediately crashes Caden Speck. So Colton Mitchell and Kyler Hockey are going to come over the hill and try to get around him. Speck just got going in the rollers here. He's trying to double his way through, so Mitchell's going to get right up to him. And it looks like Hockey has lost a little bit of touch with Mitchell. And now Mitchell down the inside trying to get around Speck. Oh, he just pushes him and then pushes him again and then goes down. Man, they don't build people like Caden Speck anymore. He just got bricked down, and Jack Haley's taking advantage of it to go around Hockey. He just went around Speck, and he went around Mitchell to find himself, I think, into 5th. Yeah, and he did a 45.7 last time by, so Jack Haley says thank you very much. He's 9 seconds back of Fjellberg in P4, and Fjellberg is another 5 seconds behind Blakely in 3rd, which I would have to assume Haley would like to get up to home in 2nd, and it's not unreasonable to say that he could do it. Now Fjellberg just went down, so that's going to be another spot for Haley. He's going to move up to 4th, and Fjellberg kind of cartwheeled off the track, so he may take some time to get going here as Speck and Hockey are coming in, and Fjellberg is just getting going on the track ahead of him. So Fjellberg now ahead of Speck, and Hockey coming down the bottom of the hill. They tuck to the inside. And where did Hockey go? He went off the track. So Hockey down at the bottom of the hill. Colton Mitchell and Walter Gebhardt take advantage to go by. And here's the man who, second fastest qualifier, was so fast in the first moto, but just could not stay off the ground. And this time, bad start. Walter Gebhardt has had to do nothing but work forward this entire race. Trying to close it up onto the back of Speck. Whoa, and just like that, he moves by him and gives Speck a little nudge. Giving Caden Speck a little nudge there. I wonder if... oh, that was close. Of course, Colton Mitchell, who's Gebhardt's teammate, has been dealing with Speck, and I'm not sure what the problem is here between Panini and Caden Speck, but now he's got 2 Panini riders right behind him, and they are probably not too... stoked with him right now for some reason. I don't know what's going on. Wish I could tell you. I wish I knew what was being said amongst teammates here that sparked this rivalry with Caden Speck, but this is boiling over a little bit now. And look at Gebhardt inside, plows into Speck and goes down himself again. Overzealous move, just like the one Mitchell tried. And so Mitchell now going back to work on Speck again. Speck is... like I said, they don't build him like Caden Speck anymore. That dude is a brick. Just not getting moved around, and now he finally goes down on the uphill. He's trying to get going, and he's off the side of the track. He's going to just get going here ahead of Kyler Hockey, who's coming to the top of the hill again. Gebhardt losing several positions in that chaos there. So let's reset things. Here is Leclerc coming down the start straight. He is so far out in front right now. Adam Holm in second place is just coming down the step down in the middle of the track. So that just gives you an indication. 43 seconds. Oh my gosh. Chase Blakely just went down in 3rd. He was right behind Holm, so that was a battle brewing. Instead, here comes Jack Haley. So Haley jumping down the hill trying to get Blakely. Blakely goes defensive. Haley swings wide. Blakely goes defensive again. Haley all the way around the outside. Finally gets Blakely, who tried to play defense mode 3 times there, and instead just gets ripped around the outside of as Haley goes on by into 3rd. So Jack Haley making amends here and trying to keep this championship as close as possible. If he can get up to 2nd, he will only leave here 6 points behind Leclerc, which is a lot better than it was earlier in the moto. But he has to obviously run down Adam Holm now, who is about 12 seconds up the road of him, it looks like. Leclerc still in another zip code. Fjellberg, Colton Mitchell going up the hill here. I'm so curious to see what happens if Caden Speck has to deal. Well, maybe he already did get dealt with by Walter Gebhardt. Back here with Kyler Hockey coming down the start straightaway. Here is Kyle Carpenter and Jeff Cooper, a couple guys that are, in my opinion, having really good days. Cooper, not so good first moto, a lot of cartwheeling, but this time around, putting stuff together. And Carpenter holding him at bay right now. I think this is for 10th or 11th. It is for 10th, I should say. And Cooper's going to make that pass because Carpenter rode the ridge of that rut. So Cooper jumps to the inside and completes that pass, but then K-Carp back down the inside of him, gets him right back. Back and forth they go. They can't figure out who wants to be in front of who, but maybe if they got together and freight train to the front, things would be better for them. Ash Deering here, Jeremy Cohenauer, Dylan Copeland. I don't think... We'll have to see whether or not Leclerc laps as high up as he did last time. But let's do a top 20 rundown in reverse order. And where are we? 30th. Let's go to 20th. Austin Bear is down here. See if he stays in 20th. Where is he on the track comparison to Leclerc? Yeah, Leclerc already lapped him. He might lap him twice, honestly. He's getting lapped by Adam Holm right now, actually, who's second in the race. So Austin Bear right now is P20 for Hemlock on the number 37, last points paying position. Dylan Long, Uncle Kellen Racing on the 117. Oh, Dylan, classic guy. Always has funny names in his name tag there. He had a team name at one point, and then since then it's been, I think first one was Kellen Smells, and then Kellen is Daddy, and now it's Uncle Kellen Racing, so there's always something going on there. Braden Castellaneta, Nova GFX 122 is in P18 right now. 17th, James Armstrong on the Mad Cave, number 99. 16th for William St. Laurent, his teammate, on the 886. 15th, Austin Eklund on the number 24 Odyssey MX machine. 14th goes to Jeremy Cohenauer on the number 15 MV Films ride. 13th, Dylan Copeland, Tagger Designs, number 14. And 12th is Kyler Hockey on the number 25 MXS Magazine ride, and he just got lapped by Alexis Leclerc going through. Ash Deering runs 11th, BPC number 34. 10th right now is Jeff Cooper on the Hemlock number 32. 9th is Caden Speck. I think I have this right, or is this 10th? No, it's 9th, and Speck goes down, so Cooper goes back by. So Speck now 10th. Jeff Cooper just jumped into 8th because Dylan Copeland... Oh, and now he goes down. Who the heck was down right there? That was that Caleb Hall? So Caden Speck and Ash Deering jumped by. So Deering is now up into, is this 8th? 9th. Anyway, Kyle Carpenter, Tagger Designs, number 708, runs in 8th. 7th, Colton Mitchell, Panini Motorsports, number 43. 6th right now for Walter Gebhardt, his teammate on the Panini Motorsports, number 5. But he just jumped into 5th because 6th now is Fjellberg on the MV Films, number 55. He was down right there. Gebhardt slicing on by. Jack Haley dropped back to 4th. JDR, number 2. Trying to get back around Chase Blakely, who's just ahead of him here. Chase Blakely's 3rd on the BPC number 21. And here is 2nd, Adam Holm, atom.com, the defending champion. All by himself right now. They are nowhere close to him, but literally all by himself. Alexis Leclerc making it so boring out front. A 55-second lead, and he is lapped up to... It's about to lap 9th. Just caught 9th. So here's Deering. Let's see where he moves over for Leclerc. Start straight, probably? Nope. Well, it's not under a second yet, as I always say. If it's not under a second, I'm not moving. So Deering just trying to get a couple more corners in here before he'll probably inevitably let Leclerc go through. There's legitimately people in this moto that might get lapped twice and score points. It's kind of crazy for a dry race, but that's how it's playing out right now. So Deering, now the gap down to a 2nd, probably going to move out of the way here in just a second. He's just going to probably do this uphill triple and swing wide, I would guess. Nope, still right in the main line. Interesting. Here we go. Now he's going outside. He's going to let Leclerc go down the inside. There is your race leader, Leclerc, going by. So 9th place has been lapped. Getting a report in chat that Walter Gebhardt just ran a lap. What? Walter Gebhardt ran a 42.9 in the race? Excuse me? Dude, they ran 43.7s or 43.8s for qualifying, and the dude just ran a 42.9 in the race? What in the heck is that? Are you kidding me? That's ridiculous. He's going to try to run down Jack Haley. And Haley, for what it's worth, is trying to go after Blakely. Is he going to get that move? Blakely to the outside. Oh, gets into the back of him, and Blakely goes down. Haley up into 3rd. Here comes Gebhardt. He's going to move around Blakely into 4th. I can't believe that lap time by Walter What? 142? Are you kidding me? Oh, my gosh. Just goes to show, man, had he got a start, this would have been a completely different race out front. Oh boy. So Adam Holm sitting all alone in second right now. I want to go on board with Gebhardt because that's ridiculous. So he just started a new lap. Now into the tough block, so this lap's already kind of ruined for raw speed purposes. Man, you know what? He is not that far away from being lapped by Leclerc too, like 2 or 3 straightaways or so. Just got into 4th because Blakely just went down, but I just want to see Gebhardt charge this track and see what he's doing. He's going long here again. Did that last moto too and went down. Fortunate not to go down there. He's 12 seconds back. Joshua Roberts, my dude in chat, dropping a $1.99 donation. Thanks, buddy. Says, what's up, dude? Oh, nothing much. Just streaming this race, you know, talking about the race and what's going on. And MC Andy Williams also dropping some Canadian cash off at the cleaners here. $2.79. Love watching your live streaming videos. $2.79. I wonder what the conversion rate is. I feel like you put in like $3 Canadian and it converts to $2.79 US dollars, or $2 Canadian and it converts to $2.79, or so, I don't know. That's such a weird something. But thank you so much, MC Andy Williams and Joshua Roberts, for the donations. Your cash goes directly into my daughter's diaper funds and helps us pay that exorbitant cost because diapers are not cheap and babies go through a lot of them. So thank you. 53.9 for Gebhardt. Just wanted to see a full lap on board with him. Not really the best lap out of him, but still crazy to see the lap time he was able to put down there, no doubt. And we're down to the final minute here, 29 minutes down, so clocking off as the time goes by here. I'll tell you what, folks, Jack Haley, sneaky, he's catching Adam Holm here a little bit. And this could be a good one down the stretch if he can get to him. They're just about a minute behind Leclerc. But if Haley can finish second in this moto, like I said, only leaves here 6 points behind Leclerc. So it doesn't matter. Leclerc could win by 5 minutes if he wants to. He's still only picking up 3 more points than the dude that finishes second. And Haley is trying to be that man here late in the race by catching Adam Holm. Lap time check 50.1 to a 2 flat 0.5. So Holm had a disaster lap last time by. Must have gone down at some point. And you can see right now the green dot on the track is weaving his way through some lap traffic back there. So 3 laps to go because he's not going to get to the flag one more time before time expires. It's just about to expire, and Leclerc is at the back end of the circuit right now. Haley, a little mistake there, and time has expired. 30 minutes down, 2 laps left to go. Next time by the flag stand. And let's see, Fjellberg and Colton Mitchell battling amongst each other here. They go side by side through the waves over the wall jump. Mitchell trying to get inside of Fjeld. Backs out of the challenge. Here's Leclerc. He just lapped Kyle Carpenter. And that now means that everybody's 7th on up, I believe, is still on the lead lap, which is this battle right here. Mitchell and Fjellberg. Oh, whoa! What was that? What was that? I think Fjellberg was going defense, and Mitchell didn't realize that he was going hard offense down the inside. And so Fjellberg checked up hard down the straightaway. Mitchell comes down the inside and hits him. And wow, that was peculiar to say the least. But now their battle continues. And we'll see exactly what happens here as Mitchell's trying to close up on Fjellberg and get this position. And they're really just costing themselves so much time. They may not have an extra lap to battle each other because Leclerc closing up on them. Wonder if Mitchell thinks that was intentional. I feel like that was defense mode there for Fjellberg, and he didn't realize Mitchell was coming down the inside already. But I'm sure Mitchell feels differently about that, and we'll see what he does up the hill here. Triples to the outside. Yeah, gets that pass done. Oh, he's getting the business there with Fjellberg. That was interesting. Are they continuing a fight here? Look at this. Fjellberg down the inside. Oh, I thought he might throw it in there. Ends up not doing it. But he's still right there on Mitchell, and it doesn't seem like these two are letting up at all. Big scrub for Fjellberg to the top of the hill. Another big scrub on the Race Tech double. I think Fjellberg's a little pissed off, if you ask me. Look at this inside move. He's just going to send it in and just plow into him, and it puts both of them on the ground. Fjellberg's stuck as Mitchell finally gets up, and there comes Dylan Copeland, who I thought was a lap down, but maybe Leclerc had a moment of some kind. So let's see. Is Leclerc going to come through right here? No, okay. So where is Leclerc? Oh, so he actually lost some time to these guys. I'm not sure what happened. Anyway. Oh, Walter Gebhardt got around Jack Haley. How about that? So Jack Haley losing much more points than he wanted to. Like I said, wanted to finish second, then he'd only be 6 down. As it runs right now, he would be 9 down with this 4th place finish. Or I'm sorry, 10 down. Forgot, motocross scoring is different than supercross. So Haley would be 10 down if it stays like this. So he's throwing caution to the wind. He's trying to get back around Gebhardt. Gebhardt's still trying to run Holm down for second, and Leclerc is literally on cruise control out front. Again, catching up to the back of Copeland here on the 14. Adam Holm is only 21 seconds behind Leclerc. What the heck just happened? How many times did Leclerc go down? 22 seconds. He was a minute out front. He lost 40 seconds. He did a 2:20.4. What the heck just happened? I'm so confused. How did Leclerc run that bad of a lap? Did he go down like 4 times? It doubles up with a 59.2, so well off his normal pace. And then again, another front wheel tuck there. This is kind of not easy peasy lemon squeezy for Leclerc anymore. He's got lap traffic all around him, and suddenly white flag is out. Maybe he's just letting up so much because he doesn't want to push the envelope here on the last lap. But I mean, I've been there before. I had a huge lead on the last lap of one of these nationals once, cruised it and tipped over and fell off the bike because I was just cruising. Didn't lose the lead, fortunately, but I've seen it happen before. So Leclerc trying to stamp this victory home and maybe just laxing it up a little bit too much. Adam Holm surely is seeing the pit board dropping down, and Jack Haley's gotten back into 3rd, so salvaging what he can out of this one. Haley's still trying to catch Holm. Leclerc just cruising right now, though. Like I said, double, taking it so easy. Only has really just about 5-6 corners left to go, and he will sweep his home Grand Prix, extend his points lead down or out to 8 on Jack Haley at this point. So he's going to bring it down here with a couple corners to go. And didn't have the red plate this week, but he's going to reclaim the red plate going into next week's round, which will be the 5th round, the halfway point of the GP Championship. But on home soil in front of a adoring French crowd, Alexis Leclerc has won the French Grand Prix, dominating 1-1 scores. Almost lapped all the way up to 5th in this one as well before he just basically started letting everybody go, I guess. Adam Holm trying to wrap this thing up in 2nd. Haley's getting as close as he possibly can just in case something happens to the 1. But Holm going to try to get through these last couple of corners. 1 corner to go. And Adam Holm will finish 2nd in this race and this Grand Prix. Jack Haley goes 3-3 on the day. And overall lost 10 points to Leclerc, so he was 2 points up. Now he's 8 points back. Gebhardt just ahead of Chase Blakely here. Blakely down. It's not going to matter, though. But what will matter is this battle. And then Carpenter goes down as he's trying to chase Fjellberg. Kohenauer goes down. And here comes Eklund. He's got Deering right behind him, so here's a good battle to watch to the checkered flag. Deering trying to get close. Gets the power to the ground. It's right there behind him. Rider down. Lapper. Oh, jumping off the track there, Eklund. That might be cuts. So Deering just trying to get close. Lap traffic in the way. I think that might be Vanderlee on the 225. Eklund gets around him. These guys are fighting tooth and nail. Copeland crosses 7th. Kohenauer ends up 8th. And this one's coming down to the line here. Eklund into the final corner. Holds off Ash Deering for 9th. 10th to Deering. Colton Mitchell guaranteed 11th, so he disconnects. Caden Speck 12th. Kyler Hockey 13th. 14th, Jeff Cooper. 15th to Copeland. 16th to Armstrong. 17th goes to Castellaneta. 18th for St. Laurent. 19th, Dylan Long getting some points. And Ethan Parks rounds out the top 20. SYS FMX Racing. Well done, boys. All right, let's wait for cuts to come in, and then we'll sign off for the night here. But Alexis Leclerc has won the French Grand Prix. And what a awesome job for him. There we go, cuts. Looks like Jeff Cooper got around Kyler Hockey for 13th. And that was it. So that was it, folks. And the RFGP of France is now complete. They'll have podium celebrations here soon, but we're going to go off the air right now, folks. So thanks again for tuning in to round 4 of the Race Factor Gaming Grand Prix Championship in 2020. So thankful for everybody that tuned in tonight. I don't believe I will be streaming on Wednesday, but just keep an eye on stuff coming in. If I don't get to broadcast on Wednesday, you will see a re-air of round 2 of the Ride365.com Pro National Championship in MX Simulator. But yeah, I think my daughter is going to be born here in a couple days, so hopefully everything is good with that. And again, thanks everybody for tuning in. We will see you guys at the next GP round or on Wednesday for round 2 of the Ride365.com Nationals. So long for now.
Up here, we're free, bound only by frozen memories.